Oh, Chantel, how did these wait for age horses parade?
Well, I mean,
Where does this sit with the tab punters now?
Richard, Le Romain has been popular. From the time markets open, punters have gravitated towards the class factor in the race, and most importantly, that support has continued today. It was $2.30 when Makybe, clearly the best back runner. There's about 5 times as...
Really being thrown in with the big boys today. And Group 2, Missile Stakes and the Rough and Racing. Tycoon Tara dwelt off the inside, and Jungle Edge jumped well, so did Memes the outside, going up to sit outside. The Monstars found a good spot in third, followed by Boss Lane, Invincible Gem, and Lure Remains caught pretty deep early. Then Tycoon Tara and Harper's Choice, the last one. Jungle Edge and Memes, they're locking horns at the 800 metres. From the Monstar, travelling strongly in third on the outside of Boss Lane. Then Lure Remain on the outside of Invincible Gem, and a couple of lengths further back to Harper's Choice, and Tycoon Tara sees them all. It's Jungle Edge. He enjoys to get his toe in. He gets that today. Ahead in front to Memes around the bend. Boss Lane on the inside of the Monstar. Deeper out Lure Remain. Invincible Gem looking to get onto the back of Lure Remain, and then Harper's Choice into the straight. Jungle Edge leads from Memes. Boss Lane scraping paint. Lure Remain gets going. The Monstar's trying to go with it. At the 250, Lure Remain makes the move. The Monstar goes with it. Boss Lane the fence, and Invincible Gem's finding the line. It's Lure Remain, the Monstar. Invincible Gem. They're backed her for plenty, and the mare sweeps to the front. Invincible Gem and draws clear for an explosive win in the Missile Stakes. Lure Remain a game second, the Monstar third, followed by Boss Lane, Harper's Choice. Further back to Tycoon Tara, Memes, and Jungle Edge was last in.
8, 1, 3 and 4 here. 8, 1, 3, 4. Hope you listen to Adam's preview. He went with the Chris Lee's yard, but he went with the mare here, Invincible Gem, and it appears plenty have. She's met with nice support here.
Stand by for a break. Elise, the post-time favourite. And the Rough and Racing, and Elise was the first into stride on the outside, but Formality's got good natural speed and goes for to join it. Champagne Cuddles is right behind the 2 leaders in third from One More Honey, and Villa Colada settles back last. So they've got inside the 1,000, and Makybe, and Villa Colada is the last one. 750 out, and Formality stretching out well in the lead by just under a length to Elise. One More Honey improving on the fence on the inside of Champagne Cuddles, and Villa Colada's last of all. They've got 550 to run, and Formality leads coming around the corner from the race favourite Elise. Then One More Honey, Champagne Cuddles the first to pull out, and Villa Colada's last. 400 out, Formality just rolls off the fence a bit. Champagne Cuddles moving up on the outside of Elise. So it's Formality kicking from Elise. Champagne Cuddles has gone one pace. Formality's going well from Elise, is knuckling down to the task. It's Formality and Elise, a great duel in the Silver Shadow. Elise goes to Formality. Formality kicks. Formality's won it. Formality brave, just fended off Elise, and Champagne Cuddles third. Then One More Honey, and Villa Colada was last in.
She looked beaten, Champagne Cuddles, but she showed good heart, really coming at them again there. So they got at each other from the home turn on, and they were toing and froing there, and a really, really game performance with from the filly who had the form on the board as a 2-year-old, and she's come back well.
Now, we'll double-check these sectional times, but if you want to know what effect this wind is having on them in the home straight... Yesterday, scene was set in the first, no track record, but by G they went fast. Here is the Silver Shadow, won by Formality, small field, but a select one.
It was, and it's going to be hard to sort of analyse these 3 fillies when they meet next, because you could make little cases for the whole 3 of them to say that there's that little bit more to come. You know, the winner was first up, Formality. She had the luxury of having barrier 1 and getting control of this race and quickening at the right time. Elise, she's such a big filly, and even though she'd had the advantage of having a run back, she's probably going to be toughened up, and she hasn't furnished in the coat there. And I thought the 3rd filly was sensational. She just eased behind those first 2, and when they sprinted between the 4 and the 2, she was entitled to lose the plot. And
10.55.
Yeah, and that's when she sort of, well, where am I? Because she'd never been into a contest like that But you have to admire, Lizzie, the way she rallied late there, Champagne Cuddles.
I have to agree with you. I thought that Formality was an excellent win, but she probably did get the favours by leading and controlling the race. But when you look at...
If you said to me, which one of those three do you want to take home and be on next time, I'd have to really have a good think about it. I don't know.
Let me take all three home and
I'll let you know.
Stand by for a break in the up-and-coming stakes. They're off. Oh, Gold Standard's missed it a bit off the inside, and Trapeze Artist jumped away well. Sanctioned is going forward, having a bite for the early lead. Calculated right there, and Ace High's using the low gate to punch right through up on the speed, followed by Dracaris. Gold Standard mustering now. Cuba gets back, so does Estic Rock, and Toga Pictor sees the ball. So Trapeze Artist at the top of the weights leads from Sanctioned in second. Favourite right behind Calculated on the outside of Ace High. They're followed further back by Gold Standard on the inside of Dracaris at the 750. Well back is Cuba on the outside of Estic Rock. And last of all is Toga Pictor, about 7 off the lead, which is Trapeze Artist 600 out from Sanctioned. Then came Ace High on the inside of Calculated, is just staying in for the time being. Gold Standard pulls out 3 wide, putting Dracaris to the outside as they straighten up now. Trapeze Artist in front from Sanctioned. He starts to get busy now on Calculated with Gold Standard. Dracaris down the outside. Estic Rock getting tight for room. I don't know if Calculator's going well enough. Sanctioned laying it down to Trapeze Artist. Dracaris is the one letting down with Gold Standard going with it. Dracaris and Gold Standard. Dracaris gets its head in front from Gold Standard, and Dracaris just wins the up-and-coming. Dracaris from Gold Standard. Not sure about third. Ace High late from Sanctioned and Estic Rock. Trapeze Artist close up, then Toga Pictor. Calculator was the first under pressure, and finishing back last is Cuba.
Dracaris gets a win on the board here from Gold Standard, number 7, Andrew Atkins, an apprentice riding at that low one.
But they did go hard enough up front, and he's battled on okay there, Sanctioned, but those two singled out there. The track record.
It's a new track record. 1:14.76. 1:14.76. Charlie Boy held the track record.
It would seem. Up and coming race number 5. Let's go to the 3-year-old Colts and Geldings. This time Dracaris is a work in progress for the Snowdens, but they're working him out.
Yeah, look, this is we saw those fillies in the first race. They're sharp fillies. There was more of a... These are more your mile, 2,000 metre, some of these horses in this race, although the winner, Dracaris, was pretty good. He lifted to another level here. He's up in grade. He was well positioned. He sprinted quickly. There's a lot to like about the win. He'd been well trained by Team Snowden. I read the stewards report he just pricked himself with a nail after or during this race, so he's got to have a little vet check before he comes back to the races. But it turned into a bit of an on-pace race, and obviously they've run very fast time here, breaking the 1,300 course record. Well, we have a lot of 1,300 metre races at Randwick. Gold Standard was good, had attracted support and raced accordingly. I thought those stayers out the back were pretty good considering the circumstances, and Toga Pictor was good. I thought Eshtarak was good, and the flop of the race was the favourite, Calculated.
Yeah, he was...
The Group 2 Warwick Stakes over the 1,400 metres, the light is on, and we're set. The comeback of Winks today. And the gates open, they're off. The mares missed the start by 4 lengths. In a sensation, Winks is last, and Ecuador's going to lead comfortably. Harper's Choice away well in second, followed by Fox Play, Red Excitement. Then came Inference, caught a bit deep around Antonio Giuseppe Allergic. And the mighty mare Winks is going to settle last 6 lengths off the leader, which is Ecuador by 3/4 to Harper's Choice. Fox Play's got a good spot third. Red Excitement fourth. Inference caught 3 deep down the side. Then came Antonio Giuseppe from Allergy. And Bowman's put himself in a position where he can start to creep a bit closer on Winks. She's still last as they go past the 800 metres. Ecuador on top, the pacemaker by a length and a half to Harper's Choice. Fox Play well positioned. Then Red Excitement, Inference, Antonio Giuseppe Allergic, and Winks. She's still back last as they go past the 500 metres. Ecuador coming off the fence, giving Fox Play a bit of room. Then Harper's Choice, Red Excitement. Winks gets to the outside. 6 or 7 off the lead. Fox Play, the stablemate to Winks, makes the run on the fence. Goes up to join Ecuador. Red Excitement. Winks is 4 lengths away. She's cutting loose now. Fox Play in the front from Ecuador. Winks is down the outside. It's going to get desperate. Winks is going to Fox Play. Winks dives. Yes, she got up. Winks got up to beat Fox Play. There's 18 in a row, but what about the drama today? Ecuador third, then Red Excitement. Antonio just 6 or 7 off the lead. Fox Play, the stablemate to Winks, makes the run on the fence, goes up to join Ecuador. Red Excitement, Winks is 4 lengths away. She's cutting loose now. Fox Play in the front from Ecuador. Winks is down the outside. It's going to get desperate. Winks is going to Fox Play. Winks dives. Yes, she got up. Winks got up to beat Fox Play. There's 18 in a row, but what about the drama today? Ecuador third, then Red Excitement, Antonio Giuseppe Allergic, Harper's Choice and Inference.
Oh, the story just got better. The story just got better. She couldn't win today. Everyone around us, I could hear the whispers, she can't win, she's gone. Don't write off a champion. She missed the start. We're going to show you the start again. We'll try and get you a few angles of it. But, Ronnie, from what you saw, what do you think happened?
She's had a barrier problem in the past, but, oh, wow. The daughter of a showgirl is a showstopper. She is a showstopper. Oh, it's an unbelievable experience to watch that. I thought she was gone when that fast filly just darted away there, Fox Play. She just got on the back foot. She did that at the barrier trials, and she's had a history of it in the past, but they just pressed that button at the wrong time, and she was in trouble there for a long way of that race, but champions overcome problems like that, and that was a show-stopping performance.
All right, well, we're going to talk to hopefully everyone here. Peter Tighe's the closest to me. Pete, that's why you never take anything for granted.
Mate, they don't give you these races. You've got to come here and earn them, and today she had to pull out all stops, so it just goes to prove that she is something special, and boy, oh boy, the heart was stopping. I missed a few beats coming up the straight.
It would have been the...
Performances, even you sold out.
Yes, I nearly sold out.
You sold out.
I must say, the start didn't worry me, but when that little grey mare sprinted on straightening and she was off and gone, I thought, oh, it has to be mathematically impossible for this to happen. But it did. Champions can get out of a situation, and Winks is an absolute champion.
We'll have a look at the sectional.
It was just incredible. She's just a champion, and as Huey said, it was mathematically impossible for her to do it. She did it, and she's a freak, and all those people who were at the races just witnessed something so, so special.
She's fine, she's not...
Might be someone else that missed the start, but then when I realised, and I was standing with my wife, and she looked at me, I looked at her, and it was just sort of like a blank look, and hope for the best.
No word said. It was just...
No.
The comeback of Winks today. And the gates open. They're off. The mare's missed the start by 4 lengths. Gets to the outside. 6 or 7 off the lead. Fox Play, the stablemate to Winks, makes the run on the fence. Goes up to join Ecuador. Red Excitement. Winks is 4 lengths away. She's cutting loose now. Fox Play in the front from Ecuador. Winks is down the outside. It's going to get desperate. Winks is going to Fox Play. Winks dives. Yes, she got up. Winks got up to beat Fox Play. There's 18 in a row, but what about the drama today? Ecuador third, then Red Excitement, Antonio Giuseppe Allergic, Harper's Choice and Inference.
Well, Pete, we've seen it come from impossible positions before. The Sunshine Coast, the Epsom, she got knocked over twice. The Theo Mark, she couldn't possibly win that race.
Yeah,
she has done it a few times, come from seemingly impossible positions.
It was, but the opposition they weren't slouches. They were Group 1 winners in there, and you can't give them a.
You made sure she was in the right spot to do that.
Deb, the Bob Ingham Warwick Stakes. Did Dad get out of the chair yesterday at the 100, you reckon?
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. He was so excited last night. No, look, very special, as he said only true champions that are have that X factor can do what she did. He had actually sort of thought, oh damn, this isn't going to happen, but no, we've got a great horse on our hands.
And you wanted to win a
name on the race. I'd especially
might just bring her on, I think.
I was a bit worried going past the 700 because of the way the track conditions are. They're running really slick times, and I was thinking it could be mathematically impossible to catch them, but there's nothing I could do about that. I just had to rely on the engine that I know is in her. I couldn't take off at their 700 to get closer. I would have run out of gas, so I just had to have confidence in her and ride her to run a race, And for me, I want to win as much as everyone else, but after what happened out of the barriers, I had to renegotiate where I was, and it was a concern halfway through, but it was a good feeling the last 200.
She just picks herself up.
The final sectionals for that race, considering I know it was off a standing start the times, but her last 1,000 metres was in 55:18, which is just amazing. That 43:34, 31:98, 21:06, and comes home in 10.7. She's broke 11 for the last 200 metres over the last 600 metres. You don't see horses finish off like that as a rule. There they are there. They're the splits. You'll never see splits like that.
Yeah, Vince Accardi, it was amazing. You couldn't believe it would happen to her, but the chip broke in a saddle cloth, which is associated with the GPS timing for long terms. Something in the barriers must have.
What about when she was shuffling around there at the start? When she screwed up there, they would have hit the side of the barrier.
And they do it very well. To break 32, I don't care what sort of a wind was blowing and how firm the track was, Pete. That's like Duff said, and Huey said it as well. It's mathematically impossible.
Yeah, the racing purists, the guys that live and breathe by the times and things like that, they're all in amazement of what she'd done. So it's obviously something very special.
Let's have a look at the start.
Here's the winning streak, 18 now, and in the overall scheme of things, this is where she sits.
Clever boys. Ajax and Winks, and Ajax at start 19 was beaten at 40 to 1 on. Desert Golden Gloaming is the next one. She goes alongside those, and then she chases Black Caviar.
Yeah,
that's the other one.
The other three are poor. They're sort of North Queensland.
Well, Picnic at the Park, which you've raced against country developers in Queensland. Yeah. What
Luke, isn't he?
That's who you want. Now, here's the Cox Plate. Winks $1.50.
She didn't move. She doesn't need to. Hartnell, we'll get to him later. Is that right? Second favourite in the Cox Plate is Hartnell at $26.
Yep, that's it. That's the gap.
Few restless ones there. We're set, we're racing. Oh, she stumbled a bit out of the gates, May Sword. The favourite's going to settle last, and Burning Passion jumped best from Deploy, and that's a good idea. Whizzing forward, Alluvian on the back of the speed. Followed then by Invader, one off the fence around the Virginian Spectroscope. But May Sword has got it all to do, as that's a good idea, takes the front. Out by a neck on, Burning Passion in second. Alluvian Scraping Paint going to third inside Deploy. 2.5 further back to the Virginian, then came Invader. Spectroscope second last, and has May Sword pinned away on the fence. Past the 600 metres. That's a good idea. Ahead in front to Burning Passion. Then came Deploy right behind Alluvian on the fence. Further back to the Virginian Invader. May Sword's going up the inside, improving. And this has put Spectroscope back to last with her. Up the rise now. Burning Passion, that's a good idea. Deploy makes its move. Alluvian can't get a crack at them. The Virginian's running on. I don't think May Sword could win from there. It's the Virginian and Deploy heading off Burning Passion. Deploy, he's tough. Deploy in front from the Virginian. Deploy ahead to the Virginian. Virginians, and Deploy's going to win it. Deploy by a long neck to the Virginian. Burning Passion third. Then That's a Good Idea. Rome Sword closing off very late. Then Spectroscope from Invader, and Alluvian was outclassed at the end, finishing last.
Now, what do they run? 1:8:06. What? 1:8:06. Deploy, back from Queensland, has scored and held off the Virginian, who really tried hard. Track record.
Wow.
They've broken the 1,200 metre Randwick track record. They'll all go down with an asterisk.
Yes.
They'll all go down with an asterisk. We've got a firm track. We've got a howling wind behind them. They're running ridiculous sectional times, but 1:8.15, That's a Good Idea, which was set in 2013. Can you remember that day, Ronnie?
Yes, I can. I think the wind might have been blowing.
Record to fall was the 1,200 metre track record in the show county. Here's Deploy, back from Queensland.
Yeah, they were flying by this stage. The later in the day it got, it's the more on pace it become, because, you know, not that it was bias, it was just how the tracks play when they're fast. They run time, and it's physically impossible unless you're winks to come from the back. Deploy's a beauty. He's an absolute beauty. He's got a terrific winning strike rate now. Look, sometimes you should practice what you preach. I'm a great fan of these horses coming back from Queensland in August.
You had 2 of them there.
3, the trifecta all come back from Queensland.
Burning Passion as well.
Yeah. So it's a good time to cash in on those horses, and I wish I'd sort of, like I say, practice what I preach in this race. These horses out the back I want to be very forgiving of. Ome Sword went down on ahead, and she looked great in the yard. Spectroscope, well, they tried 1,200 metres with him. I don't think it worked. And Invader looked good. He's just got to tick off that dry track box. I mean,
Yeah, he had Invader, because I think they gave him a soft run with not a lot of weight. I think that's not what we're used to seeing. Really het up and on her toes, but really relaxed and switched off. And
Catchy runs second yesterday in Melbourne, but she's surely very high on David's list.
Absolutely, yeah. She's one of the... Well, they thought that she was probably their best chance going into this weekend out of that trial that we had.
And what about Vega Magic? It was just floating around the home turn, and the Japanese horse, the former Japanese horse, just comes rocketing home.
2 very serious horses. 2 very serious horses. To put a gap in a good sprint field like that, they add a lot of interest. That Japanese horse is very interesting there.
Brave Smash. So he might be looking for a slot. Brave Smash. Up at 11:15. 10:45, Arrogate taking on the Group 1. Back. Now, Hartnell. No winks yesterday. A winksless PB Lawrence, and Hartnell was able to strut his stuff. Now, there is an amazing story to this race, but we'll talk about the win first of all.
Yeah, always in control, dominant win. And actually, the price was luxurious considering his form and his fresh form, and he just treated his rivals with contempt here. He was really good. Humidor was good. Blackheart Bartlett pulled up slightly lame, but he just stalked that hot speed, and he was never in doubt there.
Now, I'll set up the story for you, and you take it away. Craig Williams weighs out in a heavy vest. He obviously changes to a light vest, gets around behind the barriers, and panics because he thinks I'm going to weigh in light.
Well, he had a brain explosion, didn't he? But I don't know about these heavy. I thought they were illegal light vests, to tell you the truth. But he must have had a heavier one when he's got horses with heavy weight. So he's weighed out, he's changed, and then he thought, I've got to do something about it. So what did he... I'm reading he put a pair of... a file and a pair of pinchers in his boots.
He's gone to the farrier's bag and grabbed some equipment and put it in his boots. The only problem is he overdid it. He came back 1.2 overweight.
Well, I think 0.8 over or something like that, or close to a kilo over. So if he gets beaten nose, there's hell to pay there. What he should have done, if he was thinking straight, is just come clean. Oh, I've changed my vest, and had to just go change your vest and reweigh.
He got fined $1,000 for doing what he did, and $1,000 for weighing in heavy.
I've never heard anything like this. Look, they could have put the anvil in his boot.
Welcome back to Rosehill Gardens. Feature race of the day, race 7, TPG Telecom San Domenico Stakes 1100, Group 3 for the 3-year-olds. Pariah's back today, favourite, $2.70 on the NOP, and they are walking around the yard. Lizzie's had a look at them.
Most confidently back runner here all day, Greg. Pariah, especially when they walked in the yard.
All right, so
2.15 and roughly 2.50 to 2.15 since they came in the yard, which is always very significant. Medina
It's open, they're off and racing, great line out, and Medina jump well together with Speed Street and Condor Heroes moving up on the outside. Another Sin goes to fourth, followed by Jordan, then came Parast from Taking Aim. The favourite Pariah's back second last, and Chauffeur whips them in. They're speeding along, Speed Street on top from Condor Heroes, who pulls its way up into second. Medina takes the sit in third, then came another Sin, 3/4 the inside to Jordan, 2 further back to Parast. Now Shin's taking inside runs on the favourite Pariah. Taking Aim and Chauffeur are the last two. On the point of the turn, 500 out at Speed Street and Condor Heroes. Medina right behind, then came another Sin, 2 further back to Jordan, and then came further back to Parast, and now Pariah's getting the runs. Here he comes. Pariah moves up with Medina. They head off Speed Street. Condor Heroes, Jordan can't get a crack at them, but Pariah with the head in front from Medina is brave. Pariah in front from Medina. Then came Chauffeur, but it's Pariah San Domenico. Pariah goes on to beat Chauffeur in second, Jordan third, Medina about a half length away in fourth. Further back to Speed Street, then Taking Aim, Condor Heroes, Parast, and another Sin was last to finish.
a good 3-year-old, a very good 3-year-old Pariah. But what about the ride from Blake Shin from the outside alley? He had him in on the fence, and then when they came to the home turn, he was just able to get out off the fence, edge his way into the clear, and it was as good as over, Ron Duffy.
I don't think it was about the run. I thought it was more about the ride. I thought that was absolutely picture perfect, the way he saved. He did.
Do you come back in a couple of weeks and then go to the Golden Rose?
Yeah, run of the Rose and then obviously the Golden Rose, and then probably after he has that 1400 metre run, we'll determine sort of what avenue we take, if we do sort of press on for a mile or an Everest or you know, freshen up for a Coolmore. So
yeah,
it's just...
One was saying how well Pariah had come back, and he proved it yesterday.
He did. Look, he from the time he walked in the yard, he was just backed off the map. Look, in the back of your mind, you think, oh, he's a real good thing in this race. And then you start analysing, geez, he's short for a horse that didn't map any good. You know, this looked horrible for him on the map. The outside draw, no one could really read the speed. They didn't know what Condor Heroes was going to do and other horses in the race. This was all about the ride. This is as good a ride as you'll see. He just stayed cool, calm and collected. Shin made all the right moves, saved all the ground, and he was pretty well electric. He was good. I thought Chauffeur was just as good as him. I thought Jordan was great. She got held up and probably lost a bit of momentum at that stage of the race when all these horses were pretty well in full flight. And I can't really say much about the others. So look, he's back. We've had Minari back. From the slipper, we've had Pariah back. So, you know, there's a talking point, who was the best performance. I don't know what I'd probably in Minari's corner there. I think on the heat of the moment, we all think that's a great performance, but I thought it was more about the ride.
From Barry Knight. Well, he's outright favourite in front of Kementari and Minari.
Well, that's a hot-looking field already. This is a great race, this Golden Rose. Kementari, he's trialled. He looks the real thing. There's a huge wrap on this horse down the bottom there, Merchant Navy, Kieran Maher's horse.
$15, had some massive bets on Tulip, so that's the one they want. Then we have the Helmet filly, Limestone, by Helmet out of Vushing at $4.20. Garrard's at $4.60. Removes at $8. Probably out of the...
Racing. Garrard slow away. She's missed the kick 3/4. Tulip out fast. True Excelsior removes. Bounce quickly. Sharif's Choice goes up into that line of 4. Williams grabs holes on Tulip. She eases back. Garrard improves her inside, and Limestone taken out lone. 700 out. True Excelsior does it easily. No real pace in the race. Sharif's Choice a neck away. 2 to removes. Garrard snookered, and they were followed by Williams on Tulip. He's going to get right onto the back of Curry here on removes, and Limestone letting it unfold a length away last as they near the corner. True Excelsior half. Sharif's Choice off the bit. Removes on the scene quickly, going up 3 wide after the 2 leaders. Garrard back the fence, been shaken up, looking for a run, and Tulip pulled out from Limestone a length away. Removes after True Excelsior, 3/4 in front as they turn. Tulip now cut loose on the outside after the pair. Limestone runs on. Tulip going after Removes. Removes in front. Tulip trying hard. Removes a half in front. Tulip desperate. Removes just in front. Removes has just won from Tulip in a photo. Third, I'm not sure. True Excelsior or Garrard, and close up Limestone, and Sharif's Choice last in. Stand by for the numbers. Removes beautifully ridden. Coming at it on the outside was Tulip, but ridden into the race. She jumped well, and that was the key, and she found the 1 out, 1 back. Tulip just had to go back and steady, and Removes wins at a nose. Number 4 for Luke Curry and Tony McAvoy. And another great ride by Luke. She looks like a mile of this filly, and she's done a great job first up. She worked
80 for the runner-up, 5 called home for third Gallant Girl, ahead perhaps of number 6 Zamir. I just need the judge to confirm those minors, but it looks like 8, 9 and 5. 6th event at Moonee Valley. Listed race, the Mackenzie Stakes for the 3-year-old gents, kickstarting the main quaddie. And the favourite into $3.30 is Bandapur, the one that Brass liked.
Bandapur 320 off a best of 360 on the tote at 360. So Coney moves up. He worked here and worked quite well on Tuesday morning. Racing. Jumped in a great line. South fast out. Going out quickly is Overshare. It's going to lead Bandapur into stride fast from Al Passam and Tycoon Dancer. Azazel next from Frankel, My Dear South. Wide out on the track then would have been Sir Coney. They were followed by Sunquest, Lone Eagle, Maraquib on the fence. Wide out. Maraquib's a long way back with Lone Eagle. They near the corner. 500 metres to run. Overshare in front. Bandapur's a neck away. 2 lengths Al Passam. Pulling out Azazel on the fence. Tycoon Dancer. South next. Then Sunquest and Frankel, My Dear, as they near the corner. Maraquib making ground. Lone Eagle can't win on the bend. Bandapur going up to Overshare. Al Passam 3 out. Azazel 4 out. They turn. Bandapur's having a bit of a battle to get to the leader, and that is still Overshare in front. Azazel and Sunquest storming home. Overshare's holding them. Bandapur can't get there. Overshare goes all the way. Wins from Bandapur. Sunquest the eye catcher 3rd. Azazel 4th. Al Passam next from Frankel, My Dear. Back in behind those runners was Tycoon Dancer, Lone Eagle, Maraquib, Not Likely, Sir Coney, South last in. Overshare going to the front. Bandapur loomed up on the outside, but Overshare had much more kick the last 200 metres of the race for Dwayne Dunn and Team Hawks. And Overshare goes
today. It's another one of the features, the listed Carline Stakes. And at the top of the page, we've got Jungle Edge, number 1.
Track here for the running of race 6. It is the Carline Stakes over the 1,000 metres. There is a Miss Rock on screen. Jane Ivel
out to $2.40, and we saw that there was some money coming for Keena Ray. Now it's not so Keena Ray. Back out to $7.50 after touching $5.50. So some of the bigger punters have decided. Well,
she's going to have to come out, Heatherly. She's putting on a show. It's all happening. Heatherly back in. Starter will waste no time. Ready. Stand as one. Racing. Heatherly broke 2nd or 3rd last. Sunday Escape out fast, going quickly. Jungle Legend showing speed. Prussian Vixen. Aruhu and Heatherly driving up on the fence. El Divino just off those from Miss Rock. General Truce, Lady Esprit 2 lengths away in the field is No More Daisy. They were followed well back in the run. Keena Ray. O'Malley is last of all. Heatherly went flying up on the rail. Through the gap and she leads the way at the 600. A length and a half in front of Aruhu. Miss Rock railed up to be 3rd from Jungle Edge. Then Sunday Escape. El Divino under pressure. Lady Esprit as Heatherly moved clear on the corner. Keena Ray pulled out on the bend. Heatherly the front runner. Miss Rock a length and a half away, getting off her back to get pursuit. Lady Esprit making ground. Heatherly turns for home. He's up and now and she burst clear. 2 lengths in front of Miss Rock. Lady Esprit. Keena Ray. Heatherly in full cry at the 100. Miss Rock is trying hard. Heatherly's holding on. Miss Rock's coming now. Miss Rock lunging. Gets up. Miss Rock has won it from Heatherly. Lady Esprit 3rd. Then either Keena Ray or El Divino from Jungle Edge. They were followed next in behind those runners by One More Daisy. Behind those was Sunday Escape, Aruhu, then General Truce, Prussian Vixen, O'Malley last in. Ben Mellum and Miss Rock. He rode on the back of Heatherly. Heatherly kicked just as she looked the winner. Miss Rock has finished with a flurry. Lady Esprit will be third and will stand by for fourth. 58.16. Kina Ray will get fourth. But Miss Rock, she's a beauty first up. She's now 4 from 5 at her first up runs. And
Highway runners are in the yard here for the Concord Stakes, 1,000 metres. Only a small field of 4. The Monstar's already gone out.
And he has last look at this lot. This is his chance.
Beath, 250 out to 280, back to 260. And the Monstar has also been hovering around that 8.
Seconds away now from the Concord Stakes. Red Zell at 240, Spieth at $2.70, and Brass both well and
open the off. So Spieth is at the back immediately, and Red Zell, hard ridden out of the gates, is going to cross the Monstar early. Nieta settles third, and Spieth is the last one. So Red Zell found his over racing a bit as one off the running rail at the 600 metres, and Red Zell, the Doomben 10,000 winner, with a high cruising speed, a length and a half clear from the Monstar. Nieta is railing through, and Brad will have to come to the outside on Spieth. 400 metres to run now. Red Zell in front from Nieta, slipping one off the fence. Spieth coming down the outside. McAvoy feels for Red Zell now. Nieta's coming, and so Spieth on the outside. Red Zell's asked to kick. He's a length clear from Spieth, who's just beaten off Nieta, but Red Zell's full of running inside the 100 metres. Red Zell's going to lead all the way in the Concord. 2 lengths the margin to Spieth. Nieta third, and the Monstar was last in. That was a dazzling display of speed there by Red Zell in the time of 56.23.
Well, it was Red Zell who was marked urgent at the start, and he's led from go to woe. Red Zell, has he put his Everest credentials on the line here with a brilliant win in the Concord, sheer speed. With 4, Red Zell put his hand up yesterday as a real Everest contender.
Well, did he what? And look, he's a quiet achiever, there's no doubt about that. He's earned respect of everyone. He just went out, he was beautifully prepared by Team Snowden, you know, and you thought, oh, 2 trials for a 1,000-metre race off a Queensland campaign, is that too much for a 1,000-metre race? But that's his style. He was rock hard, he run him into the ground, he run time. And when they come out, well, I thought Nieta was on his back there for a stride, and I thought she was going to explode to him. But he's just a little bulldog. You know, he's nothing special. He's just a little runner who gives his all. Spieth, I think the pressure of the race got to him. Like the winner had 2 hard trials. He only had 1 soft trial leading into the race. What can you say? Nieta probably wasn't as good as the first 2. I think he deserves a spot. I think he does, but I suppose he goes. They want to go to the Moir now. Yeah. Do you wait to say, okay, if you tease him with a slot to say if you're running the first 2 in the Moir, you can have the slot, or you just give it to him?
You probably give it to him. You probably give it to him. He might already have a slot.
He might already have a slot. You never know with... I suppose you have to wait and see with Pariah, because they've got the close connections with James Harron. So it might be something... Just speculation.
No, that's right. Well, yeah. James, that's exactly...
I'm sticking with them.
What was the story with Spieth there?
Spieth, but look, he had a few problems yesterday. He bled from one nostril, but he had poor post-race recovery, respiratory distress and blood in one nostril. So there's a lot to work with, and he's going to have to trial before he races.
Race 6 here at Randwick, the Furious Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies at Group 2 level. Our mounting yard brought to you by Harvey Norman.
Joy Filials really being revved up to take the early lead. Elise's jump well Saturdays. I'm excited, camping just behind them. Further back to Whispered Secret from Ciani, and Champagne Cuddles is taken back to last, about 5 lengths off the leader, which is Joy Filials at the 800 metres, a neck in front to Formality. Elise on the fence, third on the inside of I'm Excited. 3 back the inside, Whispered Secret from Ciani, and Champagne Cuddles whips them in, coming past the 600 metres now, and Joy Filials just leads from the short price favourite Formality. Then came Elise on the inside of I Am Excited. Further back to Whispered Secret, Ciani. Champagne Cuddles still last, hooking wide as they straighten up now. Formality takes it up from Joy Filials. I Am Excited runs on it. Elise's taking the gap. 2 further back to Champagne Cuddles, heading the line well. It's Formality in front, 200 out. Formality from Elise. Then came I Am Excited and Champagne Cuddles, but Formality still in front. Champagne Cuddles with a late surge. Champagne Cuddles going to Formality. They hit it. They're wide apart. It looks as though Formality's just won. Photo here, Formality and Champagne Cuddles. Then came I Am Excited and Elise for third. Further back to Ciani, Joy Filials, and Whispered Secret was the last to finish.
See, there was very little between them all in the Silver Shadow, and there's not much between them today. Formality. Here's the Formality over on the rails. There's the line. Formality the inside.
Yes,
holds on and beats Champagne Cuddles. I am excited, Elise.
Yeah, she's done it again, Spets. She would have won with the barrier without a doubt, the second filly. She had a go of going forward, then they had to drag her back. She's in the perceived worst part of the track, Champagne Cuddles, and she was gallant in defeat again, and I am excited. She's run a bottler. She never threw it away at any stage after looking beating.
Yesterday with a couple of added extras, so we ended up with a pretty good race.
Oh, we certainly did. She's a beauty, this filly, Formality. She's just got a beautiful racing style and a tremendous will to win, I must say. She's fell in at her 2 runs back. They come at her again here. You know, Elise comes off their backs and cruises up again. I am excited. Just got that bump on the turn and she rallies again late. This Champagne Cuddles was the best run in the race. She was beaten by the barrier. So look, Ty had to go out of the barrier. She didn't show the speed. He had to drag her back, and then she had to finish off on probably, I'd say, the worst part of the track on the day. And she should have, well, with a better racing style, she would have won that race. Her 2 runs back have been so brave. But winners are winners, and Formality is just an absolute beauty.
She's just got that advantage of her racing style. That's probably why she's winning. Well, this is why she's winning these races, and she's so tough, very tough.
Yeah. Any improvement to come in what you're seeing in there? She must be pretty right.
Yeah, she's pretty right. She's pretty perfect. She's heading towards the Golden Rose, so she's going to go back to Euroa to have 3 weeks between the runs. And she'll be up against
the beaten jockeys. Now, here's the Golden Rose market. Now, a lot of these horses will be running next week in the Run to the Rose. Pariah, Kementari, Minari, Chauffeur.
Wow.
Invader, I believe, is going there as well.
Yes, yeah.
Merch time. We'll wait till today's out of the way, and then we'll see what happens and go from there.
Right, but we know what.
Well, I'm going to go with Happy Clapper. Look, I know he's not completely wound up. He's still about half a run short, but I still think he's got the talent to overcome that. And the way he paraded.
1, 6, 9 and 7. Hopefully he gets the breaks at the right time. He'll be strong late. He looks in great order. The horse to catch is Ecuador. He's certainly going to run boldly from the front here. Invincible Gem probably finds Ecuador's back here. And
update in the tramway.
It's been a cracking betting race all week, Greg, and look, the losing results for Tab are Invincible Gem and Tom Melbourne. Ecuador's being cuddled by the market to $3.
It's open, the Rough and Racing. Invincible Gem got it off to a great start, so did Ecuador as usual. The Virginian quickly into stride goes to 3rd, and Happy Clapper improving, followed by Zambar, then Tom Melbourne, Mercury, Heavens Above, McIntosh being Sava, Morrison, McIntosh the last 2, 800 metres to run. Ecuador bowling along in the lead by 3/4 to the Virginian. Invincible Gem getting a nice toe into the race behind the favourite. Tom Melbourne's cast 3 deep the trip. Then Happy Clapper between horses at this point. Further back to Heavens Above, Zambar on the rails. McCleary's cluttered up from McIntosh, and Morris the last one. 450 out. Ecuador in front of the tramway by length on the Virginian. Invincible Gem's looking to come off the fence, not getting much room, and Tom Melbourne makes the run. Tom Melbourne lays it down to Ecuador. Invincible Gem still trying to get clear. Happy Clapper winds up. Tom Melbourne hits the front. Happy Clapper the outside's running on stoutly. Tom Melbourne, Happy Clapper the outside. Happy Clapper takes the lead in the tramway. Happy Clapper too good for Tom Melbourne. Invincible Gem 3rd, just in front of Ecuador. Further back to Heavens Above and McIntosh. Morris was next from McCreary, and the Virginian and Zambar were the last 2 to finish. And isn't Josh Adams pumped about the Group 2 win today?
Well, it was a reward from Pat Webster, the ride for Josh Adams, and he hasn't let him down. What a horse he is, Happy Clapper. He's a crowd favourite. He's won 8 from 26. Before today, he'd won 2.2 million. He's in for a great prep. Tom Melbourne tried his heart out, but Happy Clapper has got the money. Invincible Gem.
I think Happy Clapper's pretty chuffed with himself too, Josh.
I think he is. You know, he's a credit to Pat and Ainsley.
Patrick Webster, who we'll get to later, and he thought he was right, but he might have thought just needed this.
Yeah, that's the feeling that you got.
Yeah.
he was beautifully placed in this race considering what he's done. And he drew the right barrier and he kept in touch with them. Usually first up he's back in the ruck running on hard, but he landed and travelled in an on-pace position there yesterday. I know it was a sprint home, but he was terrific. He'll improve off that, and look, he'll go to the Epsom, and I know Pat's very nervous about the weight that he's going to get in the Epsom, and he's pleading for leniency like a jockey about to be suspended. Who knows? Look, the Epsom's going to be a good race. I don't think they'll be over hard or harsh on him. Tom Melbourne, wow, he's not the punter's pal. He's got a reputation of being, a bludger. He just always finds a way to get beaten. His 2 Sydney runs have been amazing. He was wide, no cover, and he did get back to his old tricks of wanting to pull a little bit in the run there and do things wrong. But he's absolutely very happy in his new environment. I'm actually pleading to the OTI syndicate, and I know it's available, to change his name. It's got to be. This has to happen. It has to be Tom Sydney.
He has to change his name.
He has to change. It'll just change the feng shui. The feng shui. Sorry. He is just having the karma's not happening for him at the moment.
What is feng shui?
Well, it's all bad. You've got to have the
good vibes.
Good vibes.
Oh, okay. So you've. Welcome back to Randwick. In front of a packed Theatre of the Horse. Winx is in the yard and she came down quite early. They're all there.
No issues at all. All eyes are on her at the start today, obviously. I don't know whether she wants...
Hugh Bowman, the rider for Chris Waller.
Yeah, well, she speaks for herself, doesn't she? She's a champion. We're all, expectations high with her today, obviously, deservedly so, and let's hope she gets the job done.
Sorry, Lizzie.
No, well, I just think
The other runner.
No, Greg, would be the short answer. Well, I've just done the calculation, so 93.6% of the hold with tab fixed odds is for Winx. She did touch $1.10 briefly, which is the price she jumped at in the Warwick Stakes a fortnight ago. And, well, as it stands, $1.09 would be the shortest quote she's jumped at, equal with what she jumped at $1.09 in the George Main Stakes.
To come at Warwick, Nabil, here comes the big one of the afternoon for Winx fans as she goes for 19 straight. The Group 2 Chelmsford Stakes over the famous Royal Randwick Mile.
Slight hold up here. Gates open now, they're racing. She's jumped much better today, Winx. Settles about midfield, and Red Excitement's going to take up the early lead. Chicante quickly into stride, going to second. Harper's Choice third, then Sense of Occasion. And Winx is going up into fifth early stages, followed by Who Shot the Barman. Then came Antonio Giuseppe, Saracen buried behind them. Further back to Lifeless Ordinary from Libran. Lasquetti Spirit gets well back, and Allergic is the last one. Red Excitement ensures a good gallop here. Running along 2.5 clear from Chicante, 3 further back to Harper's Choice, 4 lengths then to Sense of Occasion, followed further back by Who Shot the Barman, and Winx about midfield, 1 off the fence, further back to Antonio Giuseppe around Libran and Saracen between them, then came further back to Lifeless Ordinary, Lasquetti Spirit and Allergics last of all. Josh Parr ensuring a very strong tempo here on Red Excitement, gets the best part of 6 in front of Chicante at Harper's Choice. Now Winx is starting to get into her work, going into a clear fourth. A Sense of Occasion under pressure. Then came Antonio Giuseppe, Lifeless Ordinary and Saracen trying to pick up, but around the turn, Red Excitement. He's certainly making it exciting. Parr sitting pretty quietly, 6 lengths clear. Now Winx is getting cracking. Further back to Antonio Giuseppe, Chicante still there. Red Excitement 5 in front. Now Winx has only got 1 more to pick off. Red Excitement 3 in front. Winx is coming. Red Excitement, but here she comes. Right over the top, Winx. Barnstorming finish again. 19 in a row. Winx beats Red Excitement and Chicante third. Then Antonio Giuseppe, Lifeless Ordinary. Further back to Harper's Choice, Allergic, Who Shot the Barman, Libran, Sense of Occasion, Lasquetti Spirit, and Saracen was last of all.
Oh, be still, you beating heart. The race was on again. Red Excitement put some real excitement into this Randwick crowd today because she had to chase
But look how easily she gets to him in the end. What were we worried about?
I wasn't worried.
Not today, you weren't.
Jeez, she just gets it done, doesn't she? It was heart attack material there. That was great tactics on the second horse because the stayers were chasing him and there was no one to cart the field up to him. But she's Winks and she got on a bike there and she knew she had work to do with him at the 150-metre mark. And once she got him in sight, she charged over the top of him.
That you and this lady give us, and indeed all the racegoers here, and today it really was that. Credit to Josh Parr, he made a bit of a race of it, didn't he?
He certainly did. He left no stone unturned, and, you know, I was comfortable in the first quarter of the race, but I could see what was happening. And so I started to make my way a bit closer, you know, from the 900-metre mark, but I still had to stay within myself and the top of the straight. I wasn't worried last start, but today I really was, and what she did today is just incredible. I mean, everything she does is incredible, but I just can't. I'm lost for words. I really am.
What is that feeling like when she's going through the gear?
Isolated. Wasn't that exciting?
Yeah, very exciting. Yeah, they turned the race on and I guess tried to break us up, and yeah, it's never what you like to see when you got a horse like her chasing like that, but fair play to them. It did run second, it didn't fall out and run last, but yeah, it just proved that she's at her best and pretty hard to beat a horse at their best.
It does start you thinking, though, can she make out when you've got a leader going like that?
Yeah, with 400 to run, I thought I was more concerned today than I was first up. I thought she was going to get there quite easy first up with her momentum, but sort of hard to gauge when you've got a horse free rolling like that, has had a soft section, because you've got to give credit to the second horse. It's not a bad horse. And no, she pulled him back pretty well at the finish.
And it's all systems go.
In front. Now Winks has only got one more to pick off. Red Excitement, 3 in front. Winks is coming. Red Excitement, but here she comes. Right over the top, Winks. Barnstorming finish again. 19 in a row. Winks beats Red Excitement and Chicane third.
You heard Maddie Stewart say that probably not as emphatic as what she can be on wet ground, but she came home 33.10 her last 600 metres, 10.8, which is the same time that Vega Magic came home in the Mimsy off a hand canter. Astonishing performance, and the way that track played today, it was more on-pace runners' advantage. But what a ride, Josh Parr.
Yeah, no, it was a terrific ride. Look, I couldn't disagree more with Matt. I thought ignore the margin, that the win had some outstanding merit given. It's just like those races he was referencing from last prep. You know, they were all jacked up. You know, she was moving into the race within 2 or 3 lengths of them. Yeah. She's getting out and chasing now a long way from home. We saw the first up win where she came home 55.1 her last 1,000. I mean, the Randwick track record's 55.7, and then there she is coming home 33.1 and eased up late. There's no knock. She's as good as she's ever gone.
Yeah, she's a champion, but the $1.04, I'll tell you what, there'd be no nails left, Ben.
There certainly wouldn't be. What a ride on the runner-up from Josh Parr. That was as good a ride as you've seen anywhere in the country today. The win from Winks contained plenty of merit. She couldn't have probably done much more than what she did. You look at the horses she was around, she still put 10 on them.
That's right.
And Gator's point's really valid from what she was doing last preparation at the same time. She was just...
It was a great day and it was a great race.
Oh, it definitely was. Just the way she wins her races, that winning streak reel's just going to be, you know, you go through all those wins. It's just not, you know, regimental wins where she's just too good for them. It's the way she gets out of trouble, you know, on more than 5 or 6 occasions.
It is.
Through that winning streak. She's an absolute champion. We all know that, but we're running out of words for her. But the muffs.
The earmuffs.
Do you think they had the desired effect yesterday? Did she sort of was a bit lackadaisical there at one stage? And I know she still savaged the line. Maybe it made no difference. Do they stay on, or is there a case to say, OK, she doesn't need them, or she does need them, or it worked or it didn't work, or I don't know what to think. But it is a discussion point.
I was thinking at this point, or just after this point, Huey, rip those earmuffs off.
It was like the plugs at the trots where you pull the plugs out.
Exactly. Stir her up, take the earmuffs off and get her going. And by the way, he drops the whip at the 250. But he didn't, I mean, his hands and heels anyway. How often has he had to tap her anyway?
Yeah, that's right. But just the surge from here on in, and then the sectional times don't lie. 10.8 the last 200 metres after a solidly run race record time is quite
quite astounding. Look, full credit to Josh Parr and the tactics on Red Excitement. Chicante, well, he chased him all the way. How good was he first up? And look, there were other good runs. I'm going to just stay on this Life Less Ordinary's back. I think he's a Cups prospect. Life Less Ordinary.
J Ford Lesquetti Spirit.
No, she's not the same horse I was riding last prep. She obviously hasn't come up.
Kira McAvoy Life Less Ordinary.
That was a nice one from him. He's moved into it nicely. The race was on from the 800, and he's run well. I just picked the last little bit, so natural improvement from that run today.
J Parr Red Excitement.
Oh man, I thought I'd pulled it off, but he's in such great form at the moment. He deserves a big one. He's just run into possibly the greatest ever.
Oh man, it's hard to be delighted when you run second, but it's as good as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Shane, trekking was our favourite before. It is now a Merchant Navy, but it's $3.40 also on the drift. So not a lot of support or push to tip you into any runners here. So we've got Merchant Navy favourite, $3.40, and we've got trekking, I mentioned, did touch the $3, now out to $3.60.
Go. Racing now, Murahib midfield away. Booker began quickly towards the inside. Trekking is trying to drive through on the inside, but too speedy for them early is Kobayashi. So after 200 metres, Kobayashi leads Ploverset, Trekking and Booker, then King's Authority, Poseidon's Pool on the inside, followed by Hualale. Then came along the inside Murahib from Evil Cry and Merchant Navy last of all. 750 metres to go, blazing the trail, Kobayashi, 3 lengths Ploverset. Booker on the outside, Trekking fourth the rails, 2 lengths away King's Authority, followed by Hualale. The inside Poseidon's Pool, then Merchant Navy, Murahib and Evil Cry at the tail of the field around the turn. 450 metres to go. It's Kobayashi, 2 lengths Ploverset. Trekking the inside, just needs a little bit of luck. Then came Booker the outside. Poseidon's Pool runs up behind them. So too Murahib. King's Authority. Merchant Navy to the outsiders running on now. Booker takes the lead at the 200. Merchant Navy on the outsiders chasing the filly. It's Booker about a neck in front, but Merchant Navy's putting in the big ones. Merchant Navy took the front from Booker. Merchant Navy just in front and scored from Booker. Third's a photo, Trekking or Murahib, followed by Hualale. Next, King's Authority, followed further back in the field by Kobayashi, who got tired. Evil Cry, Poseidon's Pool, and the other filly in the race, Ploverset, at the end. Merchant Navy at 3.20 and 1.40 for Mark Zara. Give the man a pogo stick, he'd win on that as well. So 4 races down, 3 winners for Mark Zara, who is on fire. The colt by Fastnet Rock out of Legally Bay and just presented at the top of the straight, and like a good horse has stormed down the middle. To her credit, Booker was very brave and gave him...
Hopefully they'll be coming back to him in the last 200.
Given the way he presented, though, you're pretty certain he's got the freshness in his legs to sprint again?
Yeah, we've only done short, sharp work with him. We haven't taken him out in distance yet until he gets this one out of the way, and dashed up 600. Terrific on Tuesday morning. Pulled up.
Great to hear from Robbie Lang there. With Sosi Bon, just a little drift here on course. $9.50 out to $11. The clear favourite is number 4, Shidell, the Oakley Plate Heroine from the autumn. $2.45 now to $2.20. Voodoo Lad, $3.10 out to $3.60. Just on that.
This is a Group 3, and Shidell Brassel Special is the chart topper, and best backed on track. $2.45 into $2.20. Voodoo Lad gets out from $3.10 to $3.70, a nibble or 2.
Gates back and racing. Malibu Style jumped well, not as fast as Shidell, who zoomed to the front from Runson the outside. Malibu Style right there. Crystal Dreamer a length and a half away, 4th. 2 further back is it. 750 out, 2 lengths to Shidell. They were followed by Malibu Style, Crystal Dreamer, Voodoo Lad. We've got this Royal Tudor, Saraceno, Sosi Bonner's at the end. 500 metres to go. It's Runson held together. 2.5 lengths Shidell, Malibu Style. A length away, Crystal Dreamer. A length, Voodoo Lad, followed by Royal Tudor. We've got this Saraceno and Sosi Bon around the turn at the 300. Runson in front by a length and a half to Shidell, who's giving strong chase. Then Crystal Dreamer, Voodoo Lad down the centre. Then a gap, Sosi Bon, who's winding up. Shidell below the 200, grabbed by Voodoo Lad. Voodoo Lad with a boomer takes the lead from Shidell. Sosi Bon late, but it's Voodoo Lad punched out, scored by 3/4. Sosi Bon, third a photo. Crystal Dreamer or Shidell, followed by Royal Tudor. Next, Malibu Style, Saraceno, and then a gap to at the end Runson, and a long gap. We've got this. Voodoo Lad got out to 3.8 on the bookies, back into 360. And has presented at the right time for Brad Rawiller, trained by Darren Weir. A quality individual, 4 from 4.
Good job here. He came from midfield with cover, over-raced, but he can do that. I don't think it's overly detrimental to his performances. What an overall CV he's developing, Benny. 17 of his 22 runs he's been top 2. 10 of those wins and a couple of Group 1 placings. I think he's a Group 1 winner this prep. Sosie Bond's run was hard to miss. Second up, 1,000 to 1,100. Everyone, well, I thought he wants at least 1,200. His finale was nothing short of outstanding. He got within a half length of a proper Group 1 horse. They'll be wrapped with his effort. Crystal Dreamer, sound. Scheidel, okay.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. He's just a good horse, Voodoo Lad. Yep. He's a very good sprinter. He's effective up to 1,400 metres. Sosie Bond, now, nobody missed him first up. Nobody's missed him today. What do we take out of these two performances? I personally take out that he is not a stayer. You can't be doing this if you're a stayer unless you're one of the best horses in the world. He's got to be perhaps a 1,400, 1,600 metres at most horse. He's come back in outstanding form this preparation. And concur Crystal Dreamer, he loomed up like he was almost going to win the race, just got a little bit tired late, but he can drop back to perhaps listed grade, open handicap grade, something much easier anyway, and it'd be a really good chance second up from a spell at 1,000 metres.
You agree, it's just a bridge too far for him, wasn't it?
1,000 metres.
You agree, it's just a bridge too far for him, wasn't it? I mean, on paper it was for Sosie Bond as well. I mean, he gave 20 rating points to Voodoo Lad and only got 1.5 kilos off him.
Handicaps the go for him.
Yeah, mathematically he couldn't win the race, so that just adds more merit to the run, Terry. I think they were 1-2, both right at the pointy end of the better runs of the day.
Yeah, remarkable house.
It is an outstanding field of 11 runners for the $1 million New Zealand Bloodstock Memsie Stakes at Group 1 level. Jane, who have you settled on as the pick of the yard?
I've put the one on top and Blackheart Bard. I think he looks terrific. I thought he looked great to...
Well, Shane, we've got Vega Magic solid, 240, and we did have a little bit of support for Blackheart Bar that got into 480. It's back out to $6 now. Hey Doc hasn't budged. In the last 10 minutes at the $6.50. La Romaine has just drifted out to the 7 from $6.50, my last update. That's pretty much all you need to know in the market at the moment, but Vega Magic solid, 240 and favourite, and the market move for Blackheart Butt is just slightly eased now down to the...
Memsie. Right head. Yep. Right, please. Set up for 1,400 metres and they're racing. Humidor goes back to the end of the field. Haydock began well with Vega Magic. John Snow's pushing up on the outside. Blackheart Bart just behind those horses as Vega Magic found the top after 200 metres. Vega Magic by 3/4 of a length. John Snow. Haydock is third. The inside box seating 1.25 Blackheart Bart. Then Tozen Stardom. 1 length Lure Remain I Am a Star. 1.5 length to Yankee Rose. Followed by Humidor, Single Gaze and 3 lengths to Seabirch. Last of all to the railway side. 850 metres to go and it's Vega Magic clear by 1.25 lengths John Snow. Third is Haydock getting a cushy run. If anything just wants to over race. Then Blackheart Bart, Tozen Stardom, Lure Remain on the outside of I Am a Star. Followed by Yankee Rose, Humidor, Single Gaze and 2 lengths to Seabirch. 600 metres to go. It's Vega Magic in front by a neck. 2 on the outside, John Snow. 1.5 lengths away, Blackheart Bart who peels out 3 deep now. Haydock behind them, heeled up from Lure Remain. Followed by Tozen Stardom as they come to the corner. 300 to go. Vega Magic lets down. 2 lengths in front of Blackheart Bart. Haydock into the clear. Followed by Tozen Stardom back to the inside from Lure Remain. But Vega Magic goes for home at the 150. Still 2 lengths in front of Blackheart Bart. Vega Magic going well. And Vega Magic win 12 and it's a big one. Second, Blackheart Bart from Tozen Stardom. Fourth, a photo Haydock or Lure Remain. Followed next in the field by John Snow. Then Humidor, Yankee Rose, Seabird, Single Gaze and I Am a Star. This horse is the star, Vega Magic. Craig Williams has led all of the way. No speed early with Charmed Harmony taken out, so Vega Magic was able to hold a relatively comfortable lead.
One of your resume, and this bloke, he's going somewhere, Vega Magic.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations to Racing Victoria, and we get to see that Winks just won up in Sydney, and this is great. It's a Group 1 race that had the quality of Group 1 horses in it, and I was lucky I had this horse. He was big, powerful and tough, and and it was great. Even though the day's proven that no horse has led into that wind and won, and it was great riding for David and the connections. They said to trust the horse. They know him really well, and you know, we didn't change his pattern. He's bold and tough, and when I asked him to quicken at the top of the straight, he was really good. So courageous.
I was very worried with the way that wind was going today, and no horses were leading and winning. But he dominated that race, finished off in 10-8, and it would have taken a mighty horse to get to him.
Physically, he's quite an imposing horse, but there looks to be still a fair bit to come.
Yeah, like he's got lovely length. You know, we'll have a chat with the owners whether we climb Everest or go the wait for age route. But either way, wherever he goes, he'll be very competitive. We were looking at his stats compared to Blackheart Bart at the same age. He's a couple of years younger, and I think he's won 11, and Blackheart Bart at the same stage with the same amount of runs have won 6. So that Perth form really stacks up when it's good.
Certainly does. One last point on...
There's $10 million up there, isn't there? Look, it'd be a logical one for the, you know, the Rupert Clark, maybe, or the Everest, and I'm thinking the Everest.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, well ridden by Craig Williams. He summarised the race very well. He came home 10.8 for his last 200 metres. Those back in the field really had no chance whatsoever. And to be a really good Group 1 horse at weight for age, you've got to be adaptable. Race near the speed is a big advantage, and that's exactly what he was able to do. The two weird gallopers have tried their heart out up the home straight. John Snow, he was right up on the speed in the early stages, the Derby winner. He's run a tremendous race and a couple back in the field. We'll talk about those in a moment. Those back out towards the tail of the field, they really were non-competitive. They had no chance. How do you summarise their performance?
Benny, pretty quickly, is some of the splits from those back in the field, like Humidor, he broke 11 seconds, 4 to the 2, and he went through the line nicely. He's looking for further now, obviously, and, you know, Toast and Start and those sort of horses, they all did more than enough.
Weren't too many in the race that you put a pen through and say, no, I wasn't happy with that run. We'll analyse later on where we think these horses are going, but horses that are going to be stepping up in distance, like a Humidor, they've obviously run really well. Some that are going to drop back in class as well, like an I'm a Star might go to Sir Rupert Clark, a handicap, or even against mares. They've also run pretty well.
Here we can roll the vision here, and yeah, what elite athletes do, they sustain speed. I mean, what was he, 45.6 home first up with a big weight, and you know, it was quicker than Hartnell for that 8 to the 2, wasn't he? We'll just freeze it there, because these horses out the back, as we've sort of touched on, they're sort of out of play mathematically now. Watch the way Humidor hits the line though for a mile race soon.
It certainly was a good run, and you remember like when he was flashing home last preparation over these sort of distances, it was just simply a far inferior grade, so he's probably running just as well, if not better. Toast and Stardom, you'll see ducking back towards the inside. He hits the line nicely. Even a horse like Yankee Rose has done enough first up off a really long break, but encouraging run, Humidor, and I thought a really encouraging run from Blackheart Bart. The jury, the verdict was out a little bit.
Tender Vega Magic. And Perth horses, ex-Perth horses run 1-2 here. Vega Magic beating Blackheart Bart and Toss and Stardom.
This is just a very good horse. His record speaks for itself. He's 12 from 17 now. He's got a lovely racing style. He was fantastic first up. Yesterday the wind was blowing there at Caulfield, and no leaders had won prior to this race, which I must say did take a bit of speed out of this race, and obviously the late scratching of Charmed Harmony with the track upgrade did help. Helped him with the tempo, but still he capitalised on it. He's a beauty. This is 1400. I reckon he deserves an Everest spot, but how do they approach it? You know, do they keep him fresh, or I don't know what they do. Blackheart Bart was terrific. That Bart, he just does his thing and has a dig and has a go there. Toast and Stardom, he's going really well under Weir. There's a win in him, but it's just competitive at this level. Look, hey Doc, no real excuses for him. I just thought the tempo was against Le Romain. Humidor's ticking along there. John Snow did enough first up, doing a bit of work in the run. A good race. And a deserved winner.
Yeah. We're going to talk to David. He's at the favourite addictive nature here. Let's go to Lizzie for her pick of the yard.
Yeah, Greg, well, doesn't he look fantastic, addictive nature?
Channel 527, catch the action live there. We're going to concentrate on Rosehill. First of the features, Stan Fox Stakes for the 3-year-olds. Perhaps been a very good Caulfield Guineas guide this race. Last year, Divine Prophet won the Guineas after finishing second in this to Impending. 2015, Press Statement did the double. Shooting to Win did the double in 2014.
Or the min sanctioned. So the lights on for the Stan Fox. Here we go. 1,500 metres and the gates open, and they've jumped out very well. Addictive Nature and Gold Standard's jump well. Gold Standard actually in front of Addictive Nature early. Trapeze Artist just drops in behind. The Mission settles in fourth, followed by Bosberg's last about 7 off the lead. It's the Mission, the Champagne Stakes winner, resuming out by 2 lengths on Gold Standard. A length and a half to Addictive Nature, and Trapeze Artist hard at it on the fence. Into the straight, the Mission being cuddled with Gold Standard getting closer now. Addictive Nature, he goes full bore on it. Sanctions running on. The Mission found nothing. Gold Standard takes the lead by a length and a half. Addictive Nature, who's got a bit of a job to get there. Gold Standard in front of Addictive Nature. Sanction the outside going to second, but Gold Standard, great ride by Josh Parr. Gold Standard draws clear to win the Stan Fox. Goes on to win it by 2 lengths to Sanction. Addictive Nature third. Then Trapeze Artist from Ace High. Further back to Colesberg, and the Mission was too keen first up and finished last.
Gold Standard number 7, Josh Parr for Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott jumped very quickly. The Mission took...
Trailing the Mission, who got a bit of a check. Your brother-in-law got suspended out of this race. You're pretty happy here, aren't you?
Yeah, I was very happy here. I actually expected Corey Brown on the Mission to lead up a lot earlier. I thought, just watching his recent trial and obviously his Champagne run, he's bold going tactics, but when he went forward with me, it gave me a nice cart into the race, and it certainly worked out well for me.
He's a horse that's just gone from strength to strength. You know, he's sort of just been. He started off, he won, and then the other day he was backed in a much harder race, and I thought he rallied strongly. And yesterday, explosive sprinters. He wants a real tough test. I suppose he can make his own tough test, but he's an interesting horse. I thought the performance was fantastic yesterday, and a worthy horse for the Golden Rose. You know, I'm suggesting.
Well, what do you think about that?
Down.
Yeah, it just looks fantastic. From the last time I saw him, he has certainly kicked off.
Dixie Blossoms is back today. Ronnie Quinton and out to 4.40, but 2.40 on the tote. Egg Tart is back. Chris Waller and Kieran McAvoy.
Well, she smells in the market, doesn't she? They don't like her at all. The bookmakers just want to push. We know how good she is. I'm sticking with Dixie. I'd like a little bit more support. She's unfancied in the market here, but I haven't got too many.
5th event at Rose Hill, second of the group races. Group 2, Theo Mark Stakes over the 1,300 metres. Number 3, Deploy, the favourite, had 280 fixed on.
Take the early lead from Good Project. Canny Essen going forward, and Dixie Blossoms is starting to go right around the outside of the field. Then came Ed Cart from Mighty Lucky, and 3 or 4 lengths back to Euro Angel at the rear at the 1,000 metres, and Deploy leads with Dixie Blossoms in a forward roll today, and Euro Angel starting to tack on, but Deploy's going along at a strong pace in the lead, out by 3 lengths to Dixie Blossoms. Canny Essen, then came Good Project a length further back to Mighty Lucky. Egg Tart is back second last, and McAvoy starting to feel for the mare, and Euro Angel is staying now to the inside rail around the turn, and Deploy's got a healthy lead. The Randwick track record hold to Deploy, 3 lengths clear from Dixie Blossoms, flat to the boards. Then Canny Essen, further back to Egg Tart, 6 off the leader. Deploy at the 250s, going boldly. 3 lengths clear from Canny Essen, Dixie Blossoms, Egg Tart closing off well, but Deploy's got a monstrous lead here in the Theo Marks from Egg Tart going into a clear second, but Deploy's going to lead all the way. Big win by Deploy, 4 lengths to Egg Tart, Euro Angel third, then Dixie Blossoms, Canny Essen, and the last 2, Good Project and Mighty Lucky.
He's broken another track record. Wow. That's his second track record in a row. 1,200 at Randwick, and now breaks the 1,300 here at Rose Hill. Now, the former record was 1:15.08, and he's run 1:14.92. I'll read.
Wow. That market got that race 100% right, and as it turns out, they were just lethal tactics. They rode him accordingly and very heavily backed, and never any moment of worry there.
All right, let's go.
Just too good. This was a staggering performance. Had good horses chasing behind him, and it was just far too good. I thought Egg Tart ran really well, probably produced a big performance from about the 6 to the 100, maybe peaked on her run late. Euro Angel got home okay. Dixie Blossoms and Canny Essen perhaps a little disappointing, but all honours with the winner, and a big tick
Horses have broken track records back to back. Deploy broke the 1200 metre track record at Randwick a couple of weeks ago, and here in the 1300 Theo Marks, he breaks another track record.
Yeah, incredible. It's I think most people were worried that there's no speed in this race. There's no speed in this race. They're going to prop up here, and Deploy's going to get a soft lead. That would have been the worst tactics because he was. I really love this ride from Josh. I'm not just because he's here. He knew he was on a fit horse. He got him into a rhythm. He knows he can run time, and half these horses weren't ready. You could see that in the yard. None of them were glowing at all, and he just beat them with sheer speed and fitness. I thought he was fantastic.
The big one of the day is the Run to the Rose, the big lead up to the Golden Rose, Group 1 coming up here at Rosehill Gardens.
Here, see what happens in the run. He may have to use a little bit of petrol. The most important thing is if he comes back underneath the rider.
Greg, the order has been, the same for quite a while now, but Minari favourite at 2.50. He did go up as short as 2.25 this morning, got to 2.70, and that was only a matter of 10 minutes ago.
The light is on now, ready for the Run to the Rose over 1,200 metres. Stand by, we're off and racing. Minari drawn wide out has hit the gates running, given a positive ride. Parasta's being sooled up to join it, and Pariah's right there in third. Diamond Tathagata fourth, followed then by Tangled on the Rails. A half further back to Kementari, coursing a little bit deep with Chauffeur digging up underneath it. Then came Invader and Shogun Sun as the last one. Paras leads into the first bend by 2 lengths, but Josh Parr's done his job on Minari. Right up on the speed in second, 2 further back to Pariah. Similar margin back to Tangled on the inside of Diamond Tathagata. Then came Chauffeur from Kementari, and the last 2, Invader and Shogun Sun. Coming to the turn, 500 out, Parast in front. The 2 favourites giving chase, Minari and Pariah. Kementari's 5 lengths away. Into the straight, Parast leads from Minari and Pariah to the outside. Parast being joined now by Minari. Minari drawing level. Pariah's a length away, but Minari starting to edge clear inside the 150. Pariah sticks on gamely. Kementari late, but Minari, the Ferrari, wins the Run to the Rose. Oh, he's a spectacular colt, this. Minari goes on to win it from Pariah in second. Photo third, Parast and Kementari. Shogun Sun has hit the line very strongly late. Then Tangled from Chauffeur, Diamond Tathagata, and Invader was the last to finish.
He's just outside the track record. This big brute 3-year-old by Schnitzel. Minari has won the Run to the Rose and confirms favouritism for the Golden Rose. What a golden day for Josh Parr. It's another black type win, and Ronnie Minari press after Minari's brilliant win. I think Darren called him Minari the Ferrari. That fits, doesn't it?
That fits, yeah. I thought, I was lucky enough to have a horse like Schnitzel. I thought it was a very good horse, and the best horse I had since Schnitzel was Schnitzel Ann, and then along came Rubik. Never saw the best of Rubik. But this horse in the autumn, what he showed us before he raced, so I thought this is a fair dinkum, genuine horse,
What about the Golden Rose now? Do you go to 1,400?
Yes, you'll go to 1,400. Group 1.
Plus. Yeah, I'd suggest this is a good form race, and these are some pretty good horses. He's the benchmark 3-year-old for mine in the country at the moment. Minari, I think he deserves his place as favourite for the Golden Rose, and he's the horse to beat. He'll get some stiff competition from the likes of Merchant Navy, but I'd have him as a deserved favourite on that performance. Of course, when they last met, it was Minari who was...
How good is this 3-year-old?
Yeah, he's a very special 3-year-old. He's such a big, strong horse. He's got a beautiful action. He strides very long, but it's very smooth, and his turn of foot when he's able to relax throughout a race is quite remarkable. And the turn of foot that he showed yesterday on a hot speed, it was going to take some type of horse to run him down.
Let's hear the call.
Starting to edge clear inside the 150. Pariah sticks on gamely. Kementari late, but Minari, the Ferrari, wins the Run to the Rose. Oh, he's a spectacular colt, this. Minari goes on to win it from Pariah in second.
Well, he's beaten Pariah, Duff, who's another very, very good 3-year-old.
Yeah, and you'd have to say beat him on his merits as well. He was... Look, he drew the outside yesterday. I think it was logical that Josh, you had to probably give him a dig in the ribs just to put him into that race.
Changed yesterday. $2.60 now, Minari, and Pariah, who was second to him, at $6. So he's in from 6 to 260. And then Gold Standard, who we'll get to in a moment, at 11.
Pick of the yard.
I'm going to put the one on top, Russian Revolution. I did say that he ticked a lot of boxes. I think he looks fantastic today. He's just such a masculine horse, very, very strong.
60 cents. So as we look at it, $2.60 favourite. Russian Revolution solid at $3.60. It's had its supporters too. Probably those two are the ones that the punters want. Heatherly, $6.50, hasn't budged. Sapedo also hasn't budged.
There it is, racing in the McEwen. Hellbent on the inside, away fairly. Russian Revolution was the best out. Leads marginally after 100 metres. Heatherly's driving through and Hootson on the outside. A length and a quarter away to Miss Rock, followed by Hellbent, and Sapedo was last. So Heatherly blazes the trail at the 700, 3/4 of a length. Russian Revolution, a length to Hootson, third poise right behind those horses. And then came Hellbent on the inside from Miss Rock, and a length Sapedo through the gap. 500 metres to go. Heatherly by a length, Russian Revolution. They were followed by Hootson, just a length and a half away now from those two. Hellbent on the inside. Next in the field, Miss Rock, and Sapedo swings to the outer. Heatherly in front around the turn, held together at the 250. Russian Revolution's getting closer, about a half length away. Sapedo to the outer. Heatherly halfway up the straight. Russian Revolution putting in the big ones. Russian Revolution takes the lead from Heatherly. Miss Rock the inner, but Russian Revolution scored by a length and a quarter. Heatherly thirds tight. Hootson or Miss Rock, then Sapedo and Hellbent. Race time 58 and 14. 58 and 14 the gallop, which is Russian Revolution has sat second poised and has been too good. Wins 6 at start.
Makes a terrific return to racing by Russian Revolution. He's now got 6 wins next to his name from 9 career starts. He's unbeaten first up. He was able to win a Galaxy.
The sprinters today wanted to put their best foot forward to gain the interest and catch the eye of the Everest slot holders, and I certainly did that today, and we're going to see him again, and the Snowden team are obviously keen to secure that slot. But I just want to talk about in that race, we have to mention Hootson. She was a well-supported favourite, and we have spoken to Toby Edmonds, and he was initially quite disappointed in the result, but having watched the replay, he was pretty pleased with what he saw. And I did speak to Craig Williams. Craig Williams said that she was under full pressure around the bend, and that he thought that she was going to run last, and he was really pleased with the way that she was able to stick on in the end, and in the end it was a pass mark.
Your
Revolution, and Hootson's not on that first page. We're going to get to her in a moment. There she is, $15. Talk about Russian Revolution stamped himself as an Everest horse. And what do we make of Hootson?
Well, it was funny. Most people thought Hootson would just clear them and, see how if she can hold off the challenges here. But they were Heatherly jumped better, and it was, they were aggressive on Russian Revolution, which is exactly what they were with Redzel first up over the 1,000. Making a statement, and he was good. There was a lot of confidence in the camp that he'd run well, and he certainly delivered. He's look, I think he's a legitimate prospect for the Everest. He can handle it wet, he can handle it dry. He runs 1,200. He looks to have come back well. It's all positive.
Lizzie, Hootson was going to run last.
Race 8 over the mile, got a good competitive race out. He's our Rocky is our favourite here at $3.80, but there's been a couple of market moves. Star Exhibit has been $4.60 into $4.40, just out to the $4.60, but did open $5. Bonnievale has been well supported, did touch $4.20 in from $7, just an ease now back out to the $5, but there was a...
Murray Baker has 2 outstanding mares lining up in the Dado Tangenham Stakes. Good to see Murray. Will start.
Set to go. Still, Star Exhibit's red, and the jockey hasn't even left the gates. The horse has, but riderless. So a sensation. Star Exhibit has been left at the start. He's our Rocky, began well and leads in the initial stages with Rhythm to Spare and Articus between them. Jack and Obey is using plenty of the track, very deep on the course, but scouting forward. They were followed by Lizzie Lamore, course, and the riderless horse is getting up amongst the leaders. Lizzie Lamore is 5th along the inside from Bonnievale, then Sir Isaac Newton, and 2 lengths to Abby Marie as they run off the back towards halfway at the 800. It's He's Our Rocky in front by a neck to Rhythm to Spare. Jack and Obey a length and a half away, 3rd out, 3 deep. Articus the centre. Lizzie Lamore on the inside. Sir Isaac Newton starting a run, followed by Bonnievale 2nd last, and Abby Marie is at the end of the field. So He's Our Rocky just in front, coming up towards the corner at the 400 metres from Rhythm to Spare. clear. Then Jack and Obey. Behind those horses, Artigas. Bonneville is running on, followed by Abby Marie. Lizzie Lamore's dropped away, and so too Sir Isaac Newton. Riderless horses getting in front of the field around the turn at the 200. He's our Rocky, sticks to the inside, but here comes Bonneville with a sweeping run. Abby Marie's going with her at the 100. Bonneville in front by a length. Abby Marie on the outside tries hard, but Bonneville's holding on, and Bonneville has won a dramatic renewal. A nick to Abby Marie, 3 lengths with them to spare. Jacket Obey for fourth from Artigas. He's our Rocky. A long gap to Lizzie Lamore and also Sir Isaac Newton. And hold all tickets. Star Exhibit has reared when the starter said go, and Mark Zara was flipped out the back. Bonneville, Damien Lane at $5.40 and $2 has won. Has taken win 6 at start number 9, and possibly we have a new starter follow out. And it turned out to be a bit of a staying contest, and that really suited Bonneville. And you're now looking at single figure odds for Bonneville for the Caulfield Cup, and the way she won today has to be in commission for a handicap race like that. Plenty to come out of the race though. It was good to see Mark Zara was okay after that spill, but I think that the winner was certainly the highlight. But how much but didn't fire, but all honours for the winner really.
Yeah, she was heavily backed, Bonneville, 8s into $5.50 at the jump. But the big talking point is the start of the race, where Star Exhibit, who's coming out of barrier number 6, rears as the gates open, and poor old Mark Zara goes straight out the back, and the horse was determined to be a starter in the race. The big talking point now, and Grace Ramage...
And we saw a very special filly win the ATC Oaks, and she's arrived first up. Now, Murray Baker Duff was concerned with all the wet weather in New Zealand, whether he had a fit enough. Well, she's just all class.
Oh, no, well, there's no doubt about that. She's really stamped herself up for a big spring, hasn't she? This race was set on its head when Star Exhibit ran at the start there, and this riderless horse caused a bit of havoc in the race, but still, this performance from this mare first up has to be believed, and you know, she's, like I said, she's going to be a real force. There was a few disappointing horses in the race, including He's Our Rocky, but no, it's all about the winner there. She's a class mare.
Okay, let's have
the third. Now to Canterbury, and the very, very interesting runner here is the first starter in the shape of Woman by Frankel out of More Joyous, owned by John Singleton. You would have heard Richard and Lizzie say...
Woman by Frankel from More Joyous, because we know Mum was outstanding. 21 wins, 4.5 million, 8 Group 1s for the mighty More Joyous. She's very much an international product here, Lizzie, and it's great to see her debut. Nicely, right on start time.
Pinched as an odds-on favourite now at $1.65. Lawsall comes in. They're racing. Well, Woman's jumped out well towards the outside, but Lawsall, the first into stride from Mystic Empire, and Woman is going to park right behind the 2 leaders, but looking to get across. Fifth Affair's going through. Now, Wait a Minute Harbour just drifting back by a lead by 3/4 to Lawsall. Then Fifth Affair from Woman, and McAvoy's got a good grip on the short price favourite. Then came Union Jews, and dropping out now is Wait a Minute Harbour as they come to the turn. Mystic Empire leads from Lawsall, and McAvoy gets going now on Woman. He's starting to get stuck into her on the turn, and Fifth Affair travels up behind, just looking for room. Into the straight, Mystic Empire, Lawsall, and Woman now chiming in. Clear from Fifth Affair and Union Jews. Woman makes the run now at the 200 metres, going up to Lawsall, and they're in for a good battle, but Woman starting to go through her gears now, and the Franco filly draws clear. Great race course debut by Woman. Wins it comfortably from Lawsall at the end. Photo third, Union Jews lunching there at Fifth Affair. Followed...
Took a little bit while to build into it. You know, certainly I think she'll get over a lot further in time. She's bred to do that. Kieran just had to get going a little bit early, but once she balanced up, and you know, the best part of the race was on the line. She was going away from.
Another feature race coming up here, race 4, Bill Ritchie Handicap 1400, Group 3, and our mounting yard brought to you by Harvey Racing. And Coming Through's jumped out fairly. Burning Passion, the outside, was the first into stride, but Coming Through's quickly mustering. Racing up into second in front of No Doubt, and Tom Melbourne in the white cap settles fourth. Couple of lengths further back to Havana Cooler from New Tipperary, and Pajaro is the last one. So Burning Passion is the pacemaker with Coming Through up on the outside, looking to get across and match it now with Tom Melbourne
Melbourne keen in third. No doubt Tuckery stands away a big start. 800 metres to run. Burning Passion on top from Coming Through. Length and a half into No Doubt on the inside of Tom Melbourne. Looks as though Shin's got him to switch off now. 3 further back to Havana Cooler and Pajaro. And New Tipperary gives away an enormous start. On the turn, it's Burning Passion in front. Got about 3/4 in front to Coming Through, coming around the circle. Tom Melbourne's pulling out now, and No Doubt just looking for a bit of galloping room. Up the rise now and Coming Through, lays it down to Burning Passion. Tom Melbourne the outside, a length away, and No Doubt still in restricted room. It's Coming Through just in front of Burning Passion. Tom Melbourne's trying. Coming Through. Burning Passion's coming back. Tom Melbourne's battling. Coming Through. Tom Melbourne. Burning Passion coming through. He's tough. Coming Through just beat Tom Melbourne. Burning Passion close up, and Pajaro coming down the outside into fourth. Then came No Doubt for New Tipperary and Havana Cooler.
Well, Coming Through has fought back. He had the race won, then Burning Passion started to lift, and then that lifted Coming Through with the blinkers on. Melbourne coming Through. Will stand by for second and third, but Coming Through back-to-back wins. First up, second up. Tommy's run second, and Burning Passion was pretty tough again, Coming Through. He's come back in great style.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we all thought he was gifted the race, which he may have been first up, but he did at both ends yesterday. Used him early. He chased a horse that's very tough to get past, and he showed a little bit of desire at the finish there. So I really think that he's on target for the Epsom Handicap. He's had a lovely little preparation coming into it. He's ready to peak on the right day. Look at old mate here, Tom Melbourne. Honestly, he hasn't trapped me prior to yesterday, and
he got you yesterday, did he?
He got me yesterday. Look, the campaign has to be lifted. It has to be Tom Sydney. There's no doubt about it.
And just your theory on that. A change of name.
Yeah, that is interesting. He has won quite a few first up tilts, though. He's been pretty prolific with those first up wins.
Tap.com.au.
Yeah, Cuddles right, light on. Tulip the favourite for the McGrath Estate T-Rose, and we're ready to run. So now the Rough and Elise was the first head into stride, but Acume and Tulip going forward. Acume the outsider, Tulip run 1-2, and Champagne Cuddles a lot closer in third. Sweet Deal's pressing forward. Acume hasn't been able to cross as yet. They're followed by I Am Excited, who's caught a touch deep on the outside of One More Honey. Elise's drifting back through the fin. Pandemonium last about 7 off the lead, which is Acume has had it pretty easy up front from Sweet Deal. Then the two favourites, Tulip the insider, Champagne Cuddles. Further back to One More Honey, Elise the centre. I Am Excited deeper out from Smooth Landing, and well back is Cellar Girl and Pandemonium as they straighten up. Acume in front from Sweet Deal, Champagne Cuddles. Tulip behind them needs a bit of room. Then came I Am Excited. Further back to Elise, working into the clear. Champagne Cuddles goes to Sweet Deal. Tulip back to the inside. Elise's closing in. Champagne Cuddles in front with Elise. Swept up on the outside. Went on by, and Elise draws clear to win the T-Rose. A length and a half to Champagne Cuddles. Cellar Girl made up many lengths to run third. Then One More Honey and Tulip. Sweet Deal is next from I Am Excited. Further back to Smooth Landing, Pandemonium. And the front runner Acume weakened out to finish near last.
Elise gets the
opened up, and she showed the brilliance that she's always showing us at home.
She likes to sit up to the mark.
Yeah, she did, and I thought possibly. Well, I think this was the ride of the day here by Glenn. This is a little bit tricky. She's a big, hard-going sort of a mare, and she's at her best when she's covered up and ambushed, and she got the right ride, and she got exactly things go to plan for her, and she showed what she could do. Look, Champagne Cuddles had no luck in the two lead-ups. Yesterday she was beautifully ridden, and she was presented at the right time, but just found a better filly on the day with a lovely ride, even though the second filly was well ridden as well. Cellar Girl was good late. I spotted one here and back on the fence there in the white hat. One More Honey. She just got chopped out there. This is going to be an even flight stakes, and I would think she'd be a filly that would run well at odds up to a mile in a race like the flight stakes.
I'm going to think about the flight stakes with Cellar Girl. She wouldn't back up in the Golden Rose next week. Kelly's other horse.
Just here to go straps. So we are in for some ride if that's the case.
Oh, well, let's have a look at all the runners here for the Colgate Optic White Stakes 1600 Group 1. Mounting yard
With the pony anymore in the yard here. He was terrific first up. He's usually better second up, and he appears to return better. He's obviously nearing her peak now. There's excuses why she hasn't put a margin in the opposition so far this preparation. I'm not sold on barrier 1, but Bowman knows what he's got there and what his job is, and I'm sure he'll do it perfectly.
It's the Colgate Optic White Stakes, the former George Main Stakes, which he won last year, Brass, beating Howraki and It's Somewhat.
The key thing with her is that she's so nimble, so even if she is presented a difficult situation, even when this winning streak started, she was in a couple of real...
Vantage point to see her. All right, let's go back to... yes, Greg, well, one thing I can tell you is she's now at her best price she has been since the market was put up on Monday. She is out to $1.12, Winks. She went up a little bit more on the toe when she was going around in that pre-parade ring, but once she got in here, she did...
And they're racing. She's jumped out fairly, Winks, so she's going to settle in the second half of the field. And Red Excitement, the first out from Ecuador, with McIntosh quickly into stride. Fox Play's going to take a prime position in fourth. A couple further back to Happy Clapper. 2 further back to Winks, who doesn't have any runners around her. Position third on the rails. 2 further back to Fox Play. 3 lengths then to Happy Clapper. 3 lengths to the champion, Winks, who's got 2 behind her. Heavens Above and McCreary as they stroll along the side section of the course. 800 metres to run. Red Excitement 2 lengths clear from McIntosh and Ecuador. 2.5 further back to Fox Play. Similar margin then to Happy Clapper. Winks is still 2. 3 further back behind Happy Clapper. Boy, she's giving away a big start. Then Heavens Above and McCreary's last of all. Par really starting to up the ante, coming around the turn on Red Excitement. Boy, Winks is still third last. Red Excitement swings in front of McIntosh. Here comes Happy Clapper and Fox Play. And now the champ gets going down the outside. Red Excitement being tackled by Happy Clapper, but Winks is chiming in. Here we go again. Winks from right out the back powers away from Happy Clapper and Fox Play, and the champ makes it 20 in a row. Winks goes on to win it from Happy Clapper. Fox Play a distant third, followed then by McIntosh, McCreary, Heavens Above. Ecuador and Red Excitement was the last one to finish.
She is unbeatable. She's unstoppable. No horse in the world can beat her. Not like that. Huey Bowman was a long way off them again today, and he was niggling at her more than usual.
It wasn't. It's not like her. At the 1,000 he was niggling, and usually you sneeze on her and she's on their heels ready to pounce on the point of the turn. But at the 1,000 she was flat out going nowhere. I suppose 1:33.6 may explain that. But
you've arrived on the fastest girl in the world. Well done.
Thank you, Bernie. Yes, she's done it again. She's just such a delight to be a part of, and you know, I've really run out of things to say. She's just such a magical horse, and she just never fails to get the job done. And
enjoy Winks for who she is. And true champions, they normally come out and win. They get beat too, but we've got to respect that. And they can bounce back as well. So she's on track for some big races this preparation. It's great that Sydney have embraced her, and I'd say she'll have one more run up here if we can, and at some stage she'll head to Melbourne. We'll lock it in next week. We'll try and let everybody know.
We were sitting here watching it in the studio. There was a fleeting moment when I thought, oh no, today's the day she's going to get beat. What did you think, Nick?
And watching her, it was probably irrational having a look at the way the race was breaking down, the sectionals afterwards, and how good she's actually gone. It suggests she's going as well as ever. But during the race, watching it live and having Huey niggling for her for so far out, it was probably the most I've ever worried I've ever been watching her.
Well, at this point of the race, she appears as though she's in control like she always is, coming up on the back of Happy Clapper. You can see Red Excitement on the fence, the horse who stretched her so far at her last start, and you can see the effect of where the leaders have really caved in hole. They've run 1:33 here for the 1,600 metres. It's the fastest 1,600 metre race she's recorded, win she's recorded.
Anyone who thinks that this mare's not going as good as ever is dead set dreaming. Benny hit the nail on the head. The sectionals tell the story. They've absolutely flown early. That's why Huey was next.
After another display by Winks, 20 in a row, her 13th Group 1. We're hopefully going to see...
She is simply supreme. She is one special horse. I think Vince Accardi, I read this morning, won 7.6 the last 1,200 metres, around that anyway. But she's going no good. Have you listened to a few people? She's going no good. She's a wet tracker. Those earmuffs are no good. She's a stayer. Runner in the Melbourne Cup. Lots of sort of... everyone's got... The more they win, all the knockers come out on. They're just waiting to say, she's not going as well. She's flying. It's hard. A little bit at the pack.
The Addy coming around the turn on Red Excitement. Boy, Winks is still third last. Red Excitement swings in front of McIntosh. Here comes Happy Clapper and Fox Play, and now the champ gets going down the outside. Red Excitement being tackled by Happy Clapper, but Winks is chiming in. Here we go again. Winks from right out the back powers away from Happy Clapper and Fox Play, and the champ makes it 20 in a row. Winks goes on to win it from Happy Clapper. Fox Play a distant third.
Now, Ronnie, you look at that, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's easy stuff in the end.
Exactly.
But it was at the 1,000-metre mark when people were a little bit worried when Huey had to niggle. He never niggles.
No, and I think it was more than a niggle this time. He really said, come on, I want the old Winks to just be in touch on the point of the turn and have them covered. It wasn't so easy. She had to really run time that last 1,200 metres. And
20 now. 19 before yesterday, 20 as of this morning, and she still hasn't reached the great picnic in the pub. Now, interesting story. Max Presnell wrote this in the Sydney Morning Herald yesterday. He spoke to Greg Carpenter about a weight that she might have got had she nominated for the Melbourne Cup this year. And Greg Carpenter admitted she would have got 64 and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, Makybe Diva in a third Melbourne Cup got 58 and a half, didn't she?
Yeah.
In a third, after she won two.
Yes.
And a Cox Plate. 64 and a half he would have given her had she been nominated.
Well, we could run her in the Caulfield Cup. She wouldn't get a penalty.
That's right. What a race we've got coming up here. We've just seen the mighty Winks, and now we get to see the best sprinter in the world, Chautauqua. Can he win today? He's en route to the Everest, as are Red Zell, Fell Swoop and English. They're all got slots for the Everest.
Forward Blake Shin, so we're just about ready for the Bowman's Furniture. Shorts over 1,100 metres under these very windy conditions, and Red Zell and Ball of Muscle won the starter. Takedown quickly into stride. English has jumped well enough, and English is third in front of Takedown, followed by Fell Swoop. Nieta gets back from Eckstein after all that, and Chautauqua's 3 lengths last. They've got 800 metres to run, and Ball of Muscle takes the lead away from Red Zell, and English is doing work in the run, pushing into third. 3 wide, no cover, followed by Nieta. Then came Takedown, who's one off the inside. Fell Swoop the outer. Further back to after all that Eckstein, and Chautauqua's back last, about 7 off the lead. Into the straight, Ball of Muscle leads from the favourite Red Zell. English has been 3 wide the trip, then came Nieta. 2 further back to Fell Swoop. Chautauqua still last. Ball of Muscle giving a good sight. Red Zell starting to dig in now. Clear from Nieta and English. Red Zell's laying it down to Ball of Muscle. Red Zell hits the lead from Ball of Muscle. He's starting to edge clear now, Red Zell, and he goes on to win the shorts. Red Zell from Ball of Muscle. Nieta in third from English, and Chautauqua really doing his best work late in front of Takedown and Fell Swoop. Then after all that, and Eckstein was one of the last ones to finish. What an Everest we've got coming up. Red Zell's done it again. Did you see the big grey running home? He's on target. But Red Zell, take cover, Roddy. They're coming after you.
Yeah, that'll be a track record for sure. They didn't look to be going hard up front. A good one there. But Chautauqua, well, it's just too short for him. But he did warm up late. So merit in most of the performances there. But he's back going well, this horse.
A track record. They've broken famous Seamus track record.
Track record? And he's the Jeff Horn of racing, isn't he?
Well, I'll tell you what he is. He's the most improved sprinter in the country, and in my opinion, he's a genuine Everest hopeful, this horse. He's just... There's no chinks in his armour. They've worked out exactly...
Hugh, well done. It's been the Hugh Bowman Show. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Peter, I don't know whether you heard Huey, but... So let's have a look at this, guys. Firstly, the winner, Red Zell. Brilliant again.
He was, and look, he didn't use his strength of... he read the play beautifully here, Bowman, because the Ball of Muscle showed intent there, wanting to lead the race. He just pops up outside and he does his thing. You know, he's going as well as ever, isn't he? So he's gone bang, bang. Just has to stretch this speed and brilliance out to 1,200, which he can do. And look, he's a very happy horse in the right place at the moment. You wouldn't want to be in a better, much better position leading into the Everest there. I think Baller Muscle was great from the front there. I know she got caught 3 deep, no cover here, English. I was a little bit disappointed with her. She had concern, and obviously the talking point was Chautauqua. He's only beat a couple home, but did you see him run through the line?
Yeah.
He was terrific.
The sections of Chautauqua, he broke 11 for every section from the 600 home.
Yeah.
Times relative to the days, and chased a really strong speed this day and was impressive. There's been 8 winners from the 3 races. This horse is contested as well. You can see Makybe Diva there running on down the outside. You know, another Welsh sprint trilogy subsequently won a couple of times, but Royal Symphony was dominant, and to the eye, watch the way he really accelerates away. The rider's pretty soft on him late, but it doesn't stop him powering through the line, and an outstanding win. He's trialled well for the return, and obviously the one they all have to beat on what was
20 now into 205 Victorian official price. How does the unbeaten son of Doomsday look?
Well, he looks terrific. He's got a bit of a way about him, this horse, just his attitude on race day, the way.
Cliff's Edge, number 5. In fact, a bit of a spec here, 26 into 7.
Set, and they're racing. Pretty good line. Conquest goes back to the end, and no speed from Hulme. Metzen began quickly and leads with Showtime and Murahib. Garrard right behind the speed. Wallalay on the improve out deeper from Toga Picta. Lone Eagle and Eclair Sunshine, followed by Conquest and Mighty Boss. Royal Symphony's in the back half on the rails in the lime jacket. About a length and a half away next in the field, who's got a perfect trail behind them. A length and a quarter away then too on the inside, Garrard. Next in the field, Toga Picta. Conquest midfield, 3 deep. Cliff's Edge has its back at the moment from Eclair Sunshine. Lone Eagle on the rails, then Mighty Boss, Seb Fire, Ouyang Feng. Royal Symphony has about 3 behind him as they straighten. Showtime at the 400 metres with Metzen, Murahib behind them. Wallalay on the outside, then Garrard. Royal Symphony's back on the rails and trying to get through, but it's Showtime at the 250 from Wallalay. Down the outside, Seb Fire is rocketing home with Cliff's Edge. Eclair Sunshine up to Showtime at the 100 metres. Now Royal Symphony is getting through. Is it too late? Eclair Sunshine in front, but Royal Symphony over the top. Big win! Big win! Royal Symphony from Eclair Sunshine, Seb Fire and Hulme late. Then Showtime, Mighty Boss, Cliff's Edge, Wallalay, Lone Eagle, Conquest. Behind them, Toga Picta, Metzen, then Murahib, Ouyang Feng and Garrard. Royal Symphony at $1.90 and $1.20. Well, it gave us a scare. It was back on the rails, and at one stage, Dwayne. So he just needs racing room. Is he going to get that at Caulfield? He's going to be tucked away behind a lot of good horses. So into $3 for the Caulfield Guineas, fair enough, but it's going to be a dramatic watch if you back Royal Symphony. But there's no doubt he's a talented animal. And look at Dwayne Dunn here, just trying to find runs and gaps, and he's done a beautiful job. And I love the expression over the line here, where he's just shaking his head as if to say, "How did I get away with that?"
Yeah, he's a pretty special horse. Tony McAvoy was full of praise for him post-race, as was Dwayne Dunn, but this was just announced.
Just peeled his way through the field, and the way he picked up late was things that special horses do. When the bell goes...
Awful trouble, an unwinnable position.
Unwinnable. He got very tight early in the race. I think there was a few, as Dwayne said, a few blokes playing jockeys in the race against him there, and to just pick himself off the canvas here, wow, the wraps are proven correct there. He's got Caulfield Guineas written all over him. Yeah, look, there was a good...
He did, yes. Ben Mellum was suspended, 12 meetings, but...
Jane, who have you settled on here for the pick of the yard?
A little bit outside the square here, and I think...
Plenty of opinions here ahead of the Bobby Lewis. We might be able to get a little bit of a push.
Best push with us, BZ, is definitely Scales of Justice. Now $4.80, which is $4.80, which is a very good push, given it was $8.50 earlier today. Sosie Bond.
And they're racing, burning front away quite well with Japanisma, and it looks as though initially they're going to all come up the middle of the track. Attention shows speed with Red Kirk Warrior towards the inside. Behind those horses, Voodoo Lad is also pushing up on the premise. Closer towards the inside, Voodoo Lad getting up on the steel. Sosie Bond rides up behind those horses, and they were followed by Land of Plenty, who is second last, and at the end is Lucky Hustler. So with 450 metres to go, it's Red Kirk Warrior held together from Saracino, a length away as they quicken. Then Japanisma. Next in the field is Attention. Voodoo Lad looks to run on. And then Sosi Bon, who's held up. Red Kirk Warrior at the 200 metres has extended the lead to 3 legs. Scales of Justice down the outside, but it's all over the place from Voodoo Lad, but it's all Red Kirk Warrior. Loves the Flemington 1200 and won it by over 2 Scales of Justice. Land of Plenty up for third from Voodoo Lad. Attention. Then came Sosi Bon, Lucky Hustler, Japanisma. Towards the end, Savile Row, Lizard Island, Burning Front and Saracino. Red Kirk Warrior has destroyed them. Well, was a real history maker. Well, was a real history maker, being the first horse to win the Newmarket Fresh for 100 years. And fresh again today. Looked a picture heading onto the track. And Red Kirk Warrior, $4.20 to $4, has led them up.
Up there on the pretty soft speed, didn't he? And sprinted right away. I thought Land of Plenty was good for a horse who's right down in the benchmark. He can go to something. Yeah, he can go to something a little bit easier. Don't know if he'll get into a Rupert Clark if that's the aim. And Scales of Justice, it's hard to miss him running about. Had no idea down the straight. And he looks right on target for a Rupert Clark.
Yeah, and I'd even imagine up to the mile for a race like the Toorak, he would be fantastic. This is what Regan Bayliss had to say.
Look, it might be. I've been seeing his raw ability now for 12 months, and you know, if he gets the right conditions in Sydney, it'll take a very good one to beat him.
Shorts. Now let's go to another Everest lead-up. It was at Flemington yesterday, the Bobby Lewis, and this horse has booked his spot. It's interesting that David Hayes has 2 runners there ready to go. The Star has first refusal on this horse, Red Kirk Warrior, or Vega Magic. Which way do you go?
Well, it's 50-50, I'd say. He was, look at it, the anticipation was, and the confidence was all about him yesterday, and they were proven correct, and that's similar to what he did first up in the Newmarket last preparation, before being tried to stretch out to the Epsom. Yeah, look, that's very encouraging. He's earned a slot. Yeah. Look at this horse here, Scales of Justice. What a good horse he is. He should have got a lot closer. He's a really
good race in him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
where's the money been with Bet365? Not so much with Catchy, the favourite, out to 340 after getting in as tight as $3 with us. 380 now, in fact. Look, Booker, 750 into 650, good push late in the piece. And Summer Passage was 14 into 950 this morning, got back out to 12.
Ready to go, all clear given, and they're racing. And Overshare sent it to go towards the right there and just squeezed up a couple of horses, including Taking Aim. Beginning quickly was Jukebox and Esperance towards the inside, but not as fun. 50 metres to go. It's Overshare, a clear leader by a length and a half to Booker and Jukebox. And they were followed by Summer Passage, Plutocracy out deeper on the track. Then came El Passam, who's making up ground between horses, about 5 or 6 across. Limestone behind them with Esperance. Catchy's the widest and coming into it too, followed by Taking Aim, and then came Azazel. Jukebox towards the inside, strikes the lead momentarily at the 250 from Booker. Summer Passage, Catchy down the outside. It's Jukebox with Booker. Then came Catchy and Limestone getting out. Jukebox at the 100 with Booker. Catchy is still coming. Jukebox wandering. Catchy's got it. Catchy at the full late. Catchy's won it from Jukebox, who was wandering out underneath of Booker, who got the third. Limestone was the faller in the closing stages. What a dramatic finish it was. Now for fourth, Esperance, El Passam, Taking Aim were horses there. Then Azazel, Summer Passage, Overshare, Plutocracy, and Limestone has fallen with 20 metres to go. It got tight, and jockey Damien Lane is on his haunches, but looks to be okay. Catchy Regan Bayliss coming down the centre of the track has won it.
Lindsay Park team, the Blue Diamond winner of last season. She's only the second horse to win a Blue Diamond come on and win the Danehill. The other one was Sepoy, who was an absolute champion. She's very special, and David Hayes, he's not concerned in taking on the boys all the way through for the big races. She beat the boys here today, including Jukebox, who Craig Williams got off Catchy to ride Jukebox. But the Caulfield Guinea certainly looks well within her reach based on this.
It was a big win, and Regan Bayliss was there.
Oh, was this...
Yes.
Limestone's about to come up behind them, and Jukebox runs out and Limestone falls, but Catchy, meanwhile, has gone straight past them.
All class. She's a ripping filly, and she stamped herself there.
Yeah, Craig had a bad day because he got off Catchy as well, and then he's got 23 meetings, so that was not a good day.
Yeah.
At least Damien Lane was okay, and Limestone, they both were fine.
Well, because, you know, he's a good...
Makybe Diva Stakes, sponsored by PFD Food Services. Jane, who was the pick of the yard?
Well, I don't normally go for them when they're as short as Hartnell, but I am going to put him on top as the pick of the yard. He looks...
Feature event not too far away, boys. Nix, what's the latest?
Yeah, look, we waved the red flag, or red rag at punters on Hartnell, and they're absolutely charged into him. $1.85 now into $1.70. He did touch $1.65. It's all about him. Haydoc's still relatively solid, just getting back out to $10, and Humidor at the $15 mark, but it's all about the Godolphin boy.
Is that the same again with Crown, Digger?
And well. Stalls are back. Racing in the Makybe Diva, and Humidor goes back to the end with Single Gaze and Inference. Galo Chop began well, being pressed in the initial stages by Le Romain, Hartnell and Haydock on the outside. John Snow's about fifth in a clump. Also in that group of horses, Blackheart Bart, then came Seaburge on the inside. Next is Single Gaze, Tabago, Ventura Storm, Inference and Humidor is at the end. 1,200 metres to go. Haydock took it up eventually by a length and a half to Hartnell. At a length, Single Gaze, Ventura Storm, Inference. Second last, Tabago, and Humidor is last. Haydock at the 850 by a half length to Hartnell. A length and a half away third is Le Romain. Blackheart Bart around it now. Galo Chopper's right behind those horses from Single Gaze and John Snow. A length Tabago, followed by Seaburge, Ventura Storm, Humidor, and at the end of the field is Inference. They come around the turn. Haydock just in front of Hartnell. Le Romain 3 deep. Blackheart Bart 4 deep, about to sprint up. Seaburge, Galo Chop behind them. John Snow down the outside. Single Gaze and Humidor's presenting as well. Hartnell at the 300 metres moves up and takes Haydock, followed by Blackheart Bart, and Humidor is launching. Hartnell below the 200. Humidor's a real threat. Hartnell joined and headed by Humidor. Humidor with a powerful run, sprints away. Oh, what a big sprint coming up for Humidor. Bolts in. Hartnell second. Third, Blackheart Bart. 4, Galo Chop from Single Gaze, Tabago, John Snow, Inference, Ventura Storm. A gap to Haydock, Le Romain and Seaburge. Humidor, Damien Lane having a big day. 13.70 and 2.80. Number 6, Humidor, trained by Darren Weir, has been ticking over beautifully, but wow, what a burst today.
He's ran terrific, and yeah, of course Humidor ran unbelievable, really. He's always promised that. It's just a matter of being able to get him right, and the team have worked hard and trying to got to the outside, and they'd run along, I guess, quick enough. I thought, geez, he'll let go here, but I didn't think he'd let go like that, to be honest. But anyway, it's great for the future.
Isn't it amazing?
You know, he'll only get better as he gets out over further as well.
Do you feel that he's a better horse this campaign than what we saw in the autumn?
Absolutely. Look, the best part about stretched out good. So I think we're winning the battle, and he's definitely a better horse this time in.
With that sort of Makybe Diva.
Well, I was of the opinion that he might have been one run short. We know he's capable of a run like that after he's winning the Australian Cup, but to do that today, it was devastating, wasn't it? And, well...
What I was going to say is how quickly Haydock did cave in. You can see his section was here. Over the concluding stages, his last 213.13, he really showed that he's going way too keen for this class at the distance and needs to come back in trip, as Tony McAvoy referenced.
Absolutely, and what that...
Tony McAvoy referenced.
Absolutely, and what that also highlights is what a great run Hartnell's was. I think a lot of people are pretty disappointed that stepped into the $1.80, $1.85 is the back end of a multi for me. And but his performance to run 12.41 over the last 200 metres is fantastic. What's real interesting, BZ...
An incredible performance. Hartnell was sent out favourite, and everyone wanted to tell you, everyone thought he'd win Hartnell. He'd be too good for them. Humidor pulled this one out of the bag.
Oh, yeah, this is incredible. They were all everyone was saying, all the good judges were saying how well he was going, and this proved it. He's got Caulfield Cup written all over him, hasn't he? Hartnell, I would have thought, had a soft enough time of it up front to the eye. I haven't dissected the times. They looked to be just casually going through the motions there, so I was surprised something come from the back. Just write down that horse, Ventura Storm, as far as the Cups are concerned as well, but that's a slashing Caulfield Cup trial.
Very good Ventura Storm.
Very good.
Here's the Caulfield Cup.
He's rock solid now at the $3.70. Our man, and just getting out of faction again after having some support. Hans Holbein, he's into $5.50. Continued support for him. Aloft is on the drift slightly.
Sorry, $3.60, and you can't really go past it because it's had all the money with Cranbet. Al Mandan's just drifted out since my last update. Hans Holbein's also.
Thanks, Joe. There he is, Nick Williams representing Team Williams with 6 runners in the race, a 13-horse field. Good luck to Matt Hill as he's got to work his...
The Derby start stalls are back and they're racing. El Mandan jumped away sprightly. Hans Holbein began well, wants a piece of the action with Grand Duke of Tuscany on the inside at the judge. Grand Duke of Tuscany is the leader. From on the outside, Hans Holbein. Kiss Montaigne out deeper between horses Crocodile Rock, Aloft out wide. Charlevoix the inside, followed next by Kalani Kid, and Loresho keeps the Kid out 3 deep. A length and a half away then El Mandan, who's 2/3 down the field from Super Hayes Yogi. Field at Chiquita Lodge. So with 1,100 metres to go in the trophy, the leader is Grand Duke of Tuscany, really stringing them out. It's going to be a staying contest, this one. 3 lengths in front of Kiss Montaigne, 2 lengths Hans Holbein, followed by Crocodile Rock, who is about 6 or 7 off the lure. A length Charlevoix, then came on the outside Aloft as they come up towards the corner at the 750 metre marker. El Mandan next the inside from Kalani Kid. Bondi Beach is getting going, then Loresho Yogi, Super Hayes and Swarkadelic. 600 metres to go. Grand Duke of Tuscany, 3 lengths Kiss Montaigne, followed by Hans Holbein. Crocodile Rock is presenting to the middle of the track, followed by Aloft Kalani Kid. Next El Mandan the inside, followed by Super Hayes, Yogi and Kalani Kid down the centre. Charlevoix and El Mandan right up on the inside, and it's Oliver and El Mandan scraping the paint at the 250, drives away. 3 lengths Crocodile Rock, followed by Aloft and Yogi, Kalani Kid. Oh, but Oliver looks behind the right shoulder. Keep going, son. You're 4 lengths in front. El Mandan's going to absolutely trot in. Last year's Melbourne Cup winner. How impressive is that? He's down 2.5 lengths. Wow. Second, Crocodile Rock from Aloft. Yogi, Grand Duke of Tuscany, prominent for 4th, followed by Charlevoix, Super Hayes, Loresho, Kalani Kid. Next, Hans Holbein, Swarkadelic, Kiss Montaigne and Bondi Beach, but that was devastating. El Mandan, $5.30 and $2. He just kept looking behind the right shoulder and saw nothing coming. El Mandan has trotted in the JRA Trophy.
But, Damon, you've ridden so many winners. Even you must be impressed with that.
That was extraordinary, Dino. It's been a long time since I've ridden a stayer where I've had my feet on the dashboard so far from home. That was really exciting. He's certainly come back better than ever, this horse.
He put the writing on the wall with an effort.
Back in red hot form.
Yeah, he really surprised me, I'd have to say, Shane, the way he just cruised past them at 61 kilos. It's pretty good effort, isn't it? He's obviously
up into the Melbourne Cup. He's a defending Melbourne Cup champion, but if he went to a Caulfield Cup and he was successful, he wouldn't get penalised. Is that now putting the Caulfield Cup well on the table?
I think it's on the table, yeah.
Emirates Melbourne Cup winner Al Mandan in race number 8, 61 kilos on his back. He's not even anywhere near full fitness yet. He looked terrific, but what he's done here is just extraordinary.
Well, 40 minutes earlier, I was willing to head to a tote window and have a little crack at Ventura Storm for the Melbourne Cup until I called this race and have a look at Ollie just scraping the paint up on the fence. And have you seen an easier win? It was, I mean, I thought the win of this horse in the Bart Cummings 12 months ago was easy, but this was easier, and this horse has come back in extraordinary order, and what a stayer he is. And I mean, that horse could have won by 8 lengths today, and Oliver's just kidding with them. What a win. It's made a horse like Crocodile Rock, who many were touting as the Melbourne Cup horse a couple of months ago, makes Crocodile Rock look a second-rater. And
so he can't win it back-to-back. This is Al Mandan.
Wow, I know he got all the breaks in the run and the speed was on and everything went perfect for him. 61 kilos. Let's face it, this horse has had 5 runs at 2,200 plus now in Australia, and he's bolted in a lot of them. He is one serious racehorse. He's I can't wait to see how he progresses into the Cup again. Well, we're set.
Ventura Storm.
Very good.
Here's the Caulfield Cup market, and Humidor has now. Where is he now? He is $5. Bonneval $6.
Yesterday, I wonder if who they're going to let it ride this year, Oliver or McAvoy.
Yeah, did they fancy? He wasn't the most fancied one out of his team, but he's going better this preparation than he was last prep after winning the Cup.
No doubt. No.
$8 favourite